injuries, but later died. Eisen says if you can be of any help, give Greenwood PD a call. An elementary school student was caught with a gun in his backpack, but he didn't put it there. Jaden Arnold reports.
A parent of a student at Mary Castle Elementary School mistakenly left a gun in their child's backpack. The parent had placed the gun in the bag on Monday when they were unable to take it inside an unnamed facility. Unfortunately, the child brought the backpack to school the next day without noticing that the gun was inside. The school district has taken legal and social services measures to address the issue. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD and the FBI are trying to figure out who's responsible for robbing an armored truck outside of a Napo Auto Parts on the east side off Washington Street. Officers say it happened Thursday morning. Details on a possible suspect have not been released. You can expect it to be dealing with rain and cooler temperatures tonight.
We'll see some rain move into the area tonight. We're calling for the rain chances across central Indiana to be around 100%.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says rainfall will stick around until early Friday. Supposed to be dry after that, and snow is possible for parts of the state Sunday. With Governor Eric Holcomb declaring that the toxic waste from the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio is safe. He says deliveries of the toxic soil to a landfill in Putnam County can resume. Jessica Gordon, who lives near Russellville, tells Wish TV she was fine with the toxic waste coming there in the first place.
This facility's been here for 30 plus years. If the facility could not handle the material, it wouldn't have came here in the first place.
She claims the people who were upset about it aren't from the immediate area. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Through all the work I've been doing on my mental health, I've learned something invaluable, and that's to give the world a little bit of grace. Show people the same patience that I want them to show me. Really. Matt Bear here. Hi. Therapy, which has been so huge in my life, has deepened my self-awareness. Sometimes we just don't know what we want or how to react until we talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery. And the benefits are so many. I do sleep better, and my anxiety is finally in check. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and totally with your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, and they match you up with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/WIBC today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/WIBC.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, Eastside, Lawrence. Northbound 465 starting to snuggle after Penn Pike into East 56th Street. Inbound 69 a little bit slow right now, 96 to 82nd. And on the east side, southbound 465, it slows after 70 to Brookville. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Well, Hammer, I don't know the family of State Trooper James Bailey, who was killed in the line of duty in a high-speed pursuit last week. I don't know if they'll ever get closure. I don't know if that kind of thing ever happens with the families of the fallen, but hopefully the arrest and murder charge filed against the suspect will bring a sense of justice.
And we're going to say the suspect or the man, because if you're new to this program, the policy we have on our program is that unless we have to, we're not going to say the name of the scumbag that did a heinous act. We don't want them to get any more publicity than they're already going to get. Our newsroom has to. The newsroom is totally separate. They have to. That's their job. On this program, where we're having conversations, we're not going to give the SOB the satisfaction of hearing his name. So online court records show that the suspect faces charges of murder, resisting law enforcement, and causing death with a vehicle while driving under the influence. Investigators believe that the man caused the crash that killed Master Trooper James Bailey on March 3rd.
by the way, leaving behind a wife, a son, and a daughter.
Fort Wayne police were chasing the suspect when Trooper Bailey tried to deploy the stop sticks to end the pursuit on 69. Now, you know what those things are,
those
right?
things, they throw them across the road and they got spikes on them to take out the tires.
Right. If you've ever left like a parking lot or like a rental car place and you've driven over one, imagine going the other way. That's what they do to your tires. And according to the documents filed in this case, police observed the suspect drive at a very high rate of speed, steer his Jeep into the interstate median, striking Bailey. Now, in an interview with police after he was arrested, detectives say that the suspect told them, quote, he had smoked dope an hour before the crash. Detectives also say that the man told them that he, quote, intended to hit Master Trooper Bailey's car so that he would be the one dying instead of the trooper.
How about going head first or full speed into a telephone pole instead of somebody in their car, especially a state trooper, let alone a regular citizen? How about a brick wall? If you want to die, do that. I will say, not to make it about me or my family, but just real quick, my late uncle was a state trooper and died in the line of duty under very eerily circumstances in the early 80s.
Kind of a similar deal?
Very similar, assisting with high-speed pursuit with a guy that was, driving under the influence. So this it kind of hits home, I'm sure, for my family and my late uncle's wife, my mom, but it's not about us. I just
no, but you can bring a perspective to this conversation that most people can't, because you said something really earlier that I thought was really interesting. You're not sure if this family will ever get closure. I know this is a personal question, but did your family ever get to the point to where they felt like they had closure?
I don't think so. I don't want to speak for my aunt and my late grandparents and my mom and my aunt and those close to him and my two cousins who never got to know their dad. But I don't think there'll ever be closure. Absolutely not. There'll be memorials, and there's a wonderful memorial to my uncle Robert J. Lather in Avon at their precinct. But closure, no. Sense of justice, yes.
Just a reminder that tonight up at Pendleton, the school board meeting is at 7 o'clock. Pendleton Heights school counselor Kathy McCord. This is the night tonight. She is expected to lose her job, all because she wanted parents to be aware of what was happening with their kids inside of the school.
They're trying to hide the gender pronoun policy from parents.
Right. The school said, you know what? If a child wants to be called a different pronoun, we're going to do that, but we're not going to tell the parents. Well, that was the policy inside of the school, Pendleton Heights. And this counselor who had been there, I believe, 25 years, Kathy McCord, said, no, the parents need to know this. And now she's viewed as the villain, according to the school board. So if you want to show up tonight, you've got the green light. The South Madison Community School Corp Admin Building, 203 South Heritage Way. It's up in Pendleton. Now, if you're going to show, get there early, because we understand it may be a crowded house tonight. And Tony Kennett from the Tony Kennett Show and the Daily Signal joined us yesterday. He's been following this from day one. Here's what he told us that people can expect tonight.
At 7 p.m. is the executive session in which the school board will officially vote whether to fire Kathy or to keep her on contract after 25 years of service. I'm going to be there. I would recommend that a lot of other people come as well to support Kathy. There may only be standing room at the administration building for South Madison in Pendleton, but we're going to find out just what the school board is planning on doing. Last school board meeting, the president basically threatened to fire any parent that disagreed with him. And I'm not exaggerating. He said that he would get any parent out of there, kick them out, have police haul their butts out.
Oh, bring it on.
Yeah, please. And I hope we're wrong. I hope Tony's wrong. We asked him what does he think is going to happen, and he said the school board usually votes along with the superintendent's recommendation or the school board president or whatever. And he seems to think her firing is imminent. I for one, hope he's wrong. And he said as much during that interview, during his segment yesterday, that I hope that the school board comes to their senses. Apparently, this counselor, Kathy McCord, working there decades in that school system, was beloved. And would probably, one of the things I asked Tony, because, they had talked to her. I mean, hopefully she could find another job somewhere else. But after 25 years, it's like, and the negative experience she had with this school system, why even bother?
Right.
I hate to think that would be the attitude, but she could be right if she's thinking that. I'm only projecting at this point, but hopefully she could continue her career somewhere else if indeed the school board decides to fire her.
I don't have any kids that go to Pendleton schools, but I'm just a concerned citizen. I don't like what this school board is trying to do to this woman, and I also don't like how the school board has tried to delay this meeting. It's been one delay after the other because they're hoping you forget about it. They're hoping that you don't think about this meeting and just go out and do something else tonight. Well, I hope you do show up tonight. Show up, show out. Do not be intimidated by these people, because according to Tony, the people leading this meeting tonight, they like to be Johnny Tough Guy. They like to be Mr. Hardass. Be respectful when you go. Don't do anything that's going to get you into trouble, but don't put up with their crap either. And this is what it is. This is crap. So that meeting is tonight, 7:00 at the South Madison Community School Corp. And if you want to go and see what's going on, I think Tony Kennett will be there, and we'll have him on this program tomorrow to give us an update. So we've checked in with Fort Wayne. We've checked in with Pendleton. Let's check in with Indianapolis. Comedian Mike Epps, probably one of the most well-known comedians from Indianapolis. He had a gig this past weekend. Then he went to the airport. He had his gun with him. And next thing you know, all the headlines, comedian Mike Epps busted at the airport with a loaded gun. The headline's way worse than what the story really is. Here to explain what exactly happened on his Instagram this morning was comedian Mike Epps.
I want to give a shout out to all my fans out there, and want to apologize if you've seen any negativity about a gun charge at an airport. I had a long night. I had a show in my hometown, and I literally forgot that I had my pistol in my bag. Now, if you want to know why I carry a gun, I carry money all the time. I'll be having jewelry on. And these dudes is out here robbing people. So I just want to make sure I make it clear I ain't out here doing nothing wrong, but I keep a gun on me because I got to protect myself. Sometimes I ain't with my security. So just want to let y'all know that I'm still on some positive vibes, and sorry that it happened. And, all I can tell you is the world is crazy. Stay strapped.
I don't think he needs to apologize to anybody. Maybe the law enforcement. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the irresponsible. I was irresponsible. I forgot about my gun. I don't think he owes us an apology to you. I don't need an apology from Mike Epps. This kind of thing, unfortunately, happens all the time. People accidentally leave their firearm in their carry-on luggage.
Right.
And he says, look, I've and I don't know if it was so smart to, let the world know that you carry money around and, jewelry, but do you need an apology from? I don't need an apology. I mean, he's owning up to it. He said, look, I made a mistake, and that's it.
Right.
I think
I'm with you. You don't need to. No one is owed an apology from Mike Epps, right? If you're a fan of his comedy or his movies, are you watching that going, man, I really used to like that guy, but he brought a gun to the airport that he uses to protect himself with? So ridiculous.
I think he was in town. He's kicking off a comedy tour with a bunch of other comics, and I saw footage of him buying everybody Long's Donuts Saturday morning, I believe. He came to Long's Donuts and bought a round for everybody, which is cool.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Inbound 69, a little bit slow, 96 to 82nd, and east side southbound 465 starting to load from 70 down to Washington. Traffic sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Make hiring easier with the workforce experts. Hiring is about finding the right person, so let the team at Express Employment Professionals recruit for you. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Mike Epps, I thought he was great in the second Friday.
Yes.
I think he played Ice Cube's cousin And, of course, Black Doug in Hangover. And obviously, is he more known for his comedy than his movies? There's not a lot of movies that I'm looking through his IMDb right now, and I'm not seeing a lot that I am familiar with, but I did think he was hilarious in the sequel to Friday.
He was supposed to play the role of Richard Pryor in this big Hollywood biopic on Richard Pryor, but something happened, and then COVID happened, and the project got pulled.
Day from next Friday.
That's right. Day, Little Joker. Second Friday was pretty good. 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Most people approaching retirement age are on the lookout for ways to save money. And when it comes to saving on your Medicare prescriptions, look no further than your neighborhood Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Fill your prescriptions at a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens participates with AARP Medicare RX from United Healthcare, WellCare, and Cigna. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Yeah, I heard Casey Daniels talk about her brand new garage floor from Galaxy Concrete Coatings, and I was inspired. I'm like, I spend a ton of time in my garage, and my garage floor sucks right now. It's old, it's dirty, it's cracked, it's never been taken care of. And you know what? I saw the before and after photos. I'm going with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They came in and in one day worked a miracle. And I was able to park my car and get all my stuff back in my garage within a day, unlike epoxy. So my neighbors were wanting to know if my new garage floor was epoxy. No, that is the old standard. I'm telling you, Galaxy Concrete. This is better. Polyurea is what it's called. It's the new premium standard for coatings. It's 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it's ready to go in just one day after an application, not 4 or 5 days like epoxy. Go to Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis Facebook page, see my before and after photos. Check out their website. It's galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office 751-9070. That's 317-751-9070.
Theme weeks, family nights, live a dream trips, and more. Whether you're looking for a short-term rehabilitation stay or want to downsize with our independent living apartments, you'll find there's always something to celebrate at a Trilogy Senior Living community. Trilogy is proud to take care of seniors' day-to-day hassles so they can enjoy life with friends, family, and a staff committed to exceeding their expectations every day. Visit us today at www.trilogyhs.com/live to find out why Trilogy is where family comes to live.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Crime, punishment, judges.
Legal stuff.
Everybody knows what it means when you are giving or have been given the middle finger, right?
Right.
The finger.
I'm going to do it to our YouTube audience right now. If you're watching live on the YouTube chat, this is what we're talking about when someone gives you the finger.
Thank you for that demonstration. An obscene gesture made by sticking up the middle finger of a hand. Now, a judge, the reason why we're talking about this in legal stuff is a judge in Canada just ruled on a harassment case. Apparently, a neighbor gave another neighbor the finger.
Uh-oh.
And he said that giving someone the middle finger is a God-given right and threw out the harassment case.
So this is from a TV station in Canada where apparently this was such a big story they had team coverage.
A Quebec court judge says showing the middle finger to an obnoxious neighbor is a God-given right enshrined in the Canadian Constitution.
It's in the Bible.
Matt Gilmore has the story.
According to the ruling, in March 2021, the defendant, Neil Epstein, was arrested and charged with criminal harassment after flipping 2 middle fingers at his neighbor, Michael Nakachi. Nakachi claimed Epstein had been harassing him and his family for months, but during the trial, the judge ruled Nakachi's own video evidence contradicted those claims and showed that he had in fact been the instigator. The judge accused Nakachi of wasting the court's time and in acquitting Epstein mocked the basis of the case, writing, "To be abundantly clear, it is not a crime to give someone the finger. Flipping the proverbial bird is a God-given, charter-enshrined right that belongs to every red-blooded Canadian."
Team coverage from Canada.
I believe it's in the book of Leviticus. God says you have a right to give your neighbor the finger. How screwed up is it in Canada that you could be arrested for giving somebody the finger? They took him to jail.
Yeah, but the judge said they shouldn't have got that far, though. That's what the judge was saying.
No, but that's how screwed up it is there. What do people? Okay, so I'm glad they said it. So I'm trying to think up of synonyms or other names for the finger. The bird.
Yep.
The
flip them off.
The one finger salute. I don't know any. Like, do people say flick off? There's certain,
flipped off.
Yeah, but there's certain regions of the country where I feel like people say, yeah, the guy he flicked me off with F-L-I-C-K.
Right. I think it's a regional thing. I do.
I remember specifically because I think I was at Kings Island once. You know how they take your picture when you're going down a big hill on a roller coaster? Yes. I flipped it off.
Of course you did.
I was in my late teens. I was a little ornery. And
You're listening, keeping it real.
And as soon as I got off, I was looking for my picture, and an employee came up to me and goes, "Hey, man, you can't flick off the camera."
Flick
off. Oh, no, I was at Busch Gardens in Tampa. That's where I was. You can't, no flicking off the camera. He talked like that, too.
Did you flick him off?
Total nerd. Total nerd. Hey, no flicking off the camera on the roller coaster.
Again, when was the last time you gave someone the finger?
I mean, it's just probably one of my buddies screwing around or busting balls or something like that.
Yesterday to my kids. That's kind of how we greet each other in the Hammer House.
Man.
Hey, good morning, a-hole.
I remember being in 6th grade elementary school, and it was a Friday, and I just learned how to use the finger. I knew what it meant, and this girl named April, this little... Oh, still to this day, it's left me scarred.
She's like the Nellie Olson of your childhood.
She said something, and I flipped her off, and I got told on, and then the principal wasn't there on Friday, but I got sent to the vice principal. He said, you might have to get a paddling on Monday. And so I had to sit there. I mean, I was crying, just, all weekend long, just desperately scared. Mom, don't send me to school, please. And everybody was so disappointed with me and my family as well, because I flipped somebody off on the it was on the merry-go-round at recess there in North Salem.
They probably deserved it.
And she probably deserved it. And I was so scared I was going to get, because they paddled kids.
Right. It was a different time
My
back
principal
then.
had the wooden paddle with the holes in it. And then I remember vividly going to school and they gave me a warning, basically. But I had sat there and worried and fretted, and I was grounded all weekend long as a 6th grader being put through that.
When the paddle had a hole in it, they had business, because that cut through the wind.
Right.
It got straight through the wind onto your anus. Smack. Boom. Now, the big, I guess, miscommunication on this show is everybody thinks Allison is some sweet, some nice, some down-to-earth young lady.
She is.
No, she's a horrible, vindictive person.
Oh,
she's an
no.
awful, awful woman.
Are you going to take that, Allison?
Secrets out.
When was the last time you gave someone the finger?
I love giving my friends a middle finger. There's something so cathartic about it, and there's so many ways you can do it. You know, you can crank it up, you can sneeze.
Oh, I love the crank up.
Oh,
the crank up.
But do you do the where it's not just a middle finger straight up with your other finger straight down? It's like your fingers are curled up. Your pinky, your ring, and your index finger are curled up, and you do it this way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. As opposed to just like
I'm all down except for one.
Yeah, you're
I'm an all down guy.
But like some people stick their thumb out and curl their finger. It's a different way of doing it.
Yeah, it's weird
but
to
I know
me.
I'm like Allison. Yeah, it's only been done to friends in recent memory, or much like your family yesterday.
Right. Before we go to break, Allison, flip off Nigel right now.
Hey,
the Hammer and Nigel show.
The winter blues are almost behind us. We can't wait to get out of the house and be more active. It sounds great, but your achy joints don't agree. There's time right now to do something about that. Tony Katz here. Stop with the steroids. Stop with the possible surgery chatter. Now there's a better way to get lasting relief. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. QC Kinetics uses healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then placed directly in your achy joints. It can restore and repair that damaged tissue and get you moving again without pain. The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Talk to QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. The call is free. You have nothing to lose, and the timing is right for you to enjoy the best time of the year. Call QC Kinetics now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
If you're in the market for new windows, you can't do anything until you've at least checked out Window Nation. I have Window Nation windows installed in my house. They're saving me on my heating bills. They increase the value of my home. And listen to this deal. It's not too late to fix your energy bills with these off-season prices from Window Nation. Beat the rush with 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, plus pay 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% financing for 24 months.
How about this for a deal? You don't pay anything for 24 months. That's on top of buying 2 windows and getting 2 windows for free. And it's any style of window from Window Nation, and there's no limit. If you don't take advantage of this deal, you're doing something wrong. I'm just being honest with you. You're going to save thousands of dollars. So even if you're just thinking about getting new windows this year, call Window Nation, ask some questions, start that conversation. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com, but you have to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It happened outside of a restaurant, 54 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indy. Radar clear for now, but there are some storms to the west. Low of 38 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Someone was shot after an argument outside of the Ale Emporium in Greenwood Wednesday night. Police say their suspect sped away in a black SUV.
We have a lot of pieces of technology that help us track down vehicles and people that we're looking for, and hopefully that pans out that can help us locate our suspect.
Greenwood Police Chief James Ison, the man who was shot, died in the hospital. If you know anything about what happened, give police a call. The man who hit and killed a state trooper with his car in Fort Wayne has been charged with murder. Investigators believe Terry Sands II was being chased by police on I-69 when he crashed his car, hitting Trooper James Bailey. Online court records show Sands also faces charges of resisting law enforcement and for driving under the influence. Another Norfolk Southern train has gone off the tracks. It happened this morning in eastern Alabama, about 80 miles miles from Birmingham. The Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency said about 30 cars derailed, and there are no injuries or any leaks to worry about. How it all happened is still being investigated. Norfolk Southern CEO apologized today for what happened over in East Palestine. Fox's Jeff Manazzo reports.
We will be in the community for as long as it takes.
In a hearing before the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw, following the company's toxic train derailment last month, promised to make it right.
Norfolk Southern will clean the site safely, thoroughly, and with urgency. You have my personal commitment.
The company that's accused of putting profit before safety also announcing a 6-point safety plan and commits to the long-term financial cost of the mess, saying the tens of millions of dollars already spent is just a down payment. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
President Joe Biden is proposing tax hikes on wealthy Americans in his new budget. He says the increases are going to help reduce the deficit and bolster funding for programs like Medicare. Republicans control the House, though, so it's unlikely the budget's going to go anywhere. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-638-0727. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-638-0727 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-638-0727 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-638-0727.
But traffic at 3:34. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, northeast side, eastbound 465, a little bit slow before Allisonville Road, inbound 69, the same, 96 to 82nd Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Are you buying any of these presidential polls yet? Primary polling? DeSantis hasn't even said anything about running yet. I'm assuming he eventually will. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, or Tiny D, as Trump is toying around with different nicknames.
Is that what we're going with? Is that what he's calling
that's what Trump
him?
is. I believe we talked about it earlier this week. It's as a focus group on nicknames. But these polls, like at CPAC, they do this straw poll. It's a famous straw poll that they do at the end of the conservative conference in Washington, D.C., that Tony was broadcasting from. And it was like, Donald Trump will beat Ron DeSantis 99% to 1%. It wasn't that large, but I'm exaggerating. But it was that kind of thing because it was a Trump crowd.
Right.
Do you buy any of these yet? Because there's this new poll that says Trump will top DeSantis in a primary by 41 points.
Now, this was a New Hampshire poll. So in that state, they say Trump by 41 over Ron DeSantis. First of all, to answer your question, no. And you didn't have to put the word yet in there. I don't buy the polls at any point. Like, people like me never get the surveys, man.
Well, okay, to give you an example, going back to CPAC for a second, I remember in 2015, they had the straw poll there, and they only had Trump by a low percentage. This was before he kind of walked down the escalator and all that. But they got it so wrong there, of course. And then, evidence of, in terms of not paying attention to the polling, the midterms.
Right.
The polls got it wrong big time in terms of red states, red Republic, electing congressman, Senate, the red wave, whatever. They got it very wrong, and you're exactly right. I'm not going to pay attention to them until about 6 months from now when things get interesting.
Not even at that point, because the polling, like everything else in this country, has become so political, right? Like, okay, the Trafalgar Group. That's the kind of conservative-friendly polling. And then you find stuff from Quinnipiac. That's more of your liberal-leaning polling. Yeah. Everybody's got their slants right now in terms of polling. Very few places give it to you straight down the middle. And even when you look at places like Real Clear Politics, where they add up all of the polls, well, if you're adding up a bunch of liberal ones and one conservative one, you're still not going to get a good representation. For me, just using the eyeball test here, which, let's be honest, sometimes isn't always accurate, but it feels like the Trump supporter has gone from the silent majority, the people who didn't like Hillary Clinton, that weren't afraid to cast their vote for Donald Trump, but maybe they didn't want people to know about it, to the loud folks, and now maybe the DeSantis voter is that silent majority. He hasn't officially announced yet, but there's a lot of people that I think when they get in that polling booth, if Ron DeSantis is on the ballot, they were previously Trump people, they might become DeSantis people now.
Or they may have been a Trump voter just by the simple fact that they voted against Hillary and maybe held their nose a little bit, and then were maybe supported the policies of the Trump administration, but were somewhat embarrassed by his antics on social media and some of his other things that went on behind the scenes. And now they are, you're right, that's a good point. They could be silently waiting until he announces. Who knows, man? Like I said just a minute ago, the midterms, the polls got it very wrong.
And that's not the first time that's happened. They were very wrong about Hillary. They were very wrong about the blue wave. The Democrats won the previous midterm election, but it wasn't a blue wave. Republicans gained ground.
But it was a red wave after Obama's first term, or 2 years into the Obama presidency.
Right.
I mean, huge.
So about 50%.
Yeah.
How would you like your heart surgeon to be about 50%? So would you trust your heart surgeon to be about 50%? Why would you trust polling if it's around 50%? Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. It's like me in sports betting.
So wait a minute. What were the numbers real quick? And then we can move on.
So this poll that's just New Hampshire, one of the early primary states, has Donald Trump beating Ron DeSantis by 41 points. DeSantis comes in second, but it's Donald Trump with 58% of the vote, DeSantis with 17%, and then it's Nikki Haley and some of the hangers-on after that.
Well, I guess it all comes down to who you think can beat Biden in a presidential election.
And that's where the silent majority, I think, will step up. It's crazy. The Trump supporter has gone from the silent majority to the loud MAGA, that's my guy, I will only vote for this candidate person. It's been a pretty wild transition, and say what you want about Trump supporters, they're loyal. They are loyal to their dude. They feel like he got the raw deal. He didn't get a fair shake, and they are only loyal to their guy.
I mean, let's be honest. He was taking punches at every corner of his presidency.
Right.
He was getting pushback. He was impeached twice. The BS Russia collusion, the Steele dossier, the PP tapes.
His own party didn't help him.
His own party, his campaign was spied on, and he still ended up getting a lot of his policy pushed through in his 4 years. I think any other president, even to a degree like a centrist Democrat, would have liked to have had what he had on his resume in terms of accomplishments. No wars, peace deals in the Middle East, moving the Israel,
embassy.
Moving the embassy, and that's just a small list of things.
But the tweets were mean, so you gotta go.
Mean tweets. Sorry.
Now, with Trump, loyalty is a big thing. We've heard this from him for a long time. So this story about Sarah Huckabee Sanders is fascinating to me. So there's a story in Yahoo today that says Donald Trump called the newly elected governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and asked for her endorsement. And according to the Yahoo report, Sarah Sanders said, I can't do that right now. and hasn't gotten back with Donald Trump. So Trump goes on Truth Social, and he doesn't bash Sarah. It's very passive aggressive, says that she wouldn't be where she is in politics without, one, her amazing father, Mike Huckabee, and two, himself. So that's kind of Donald Trump saying, once again...
Well, she got the Trump endorsement.
Right.
I don't know. Can we wait?
But he's running for president now. He's already in it. So he's going to some of his cronies, right? Some folks that he thought would have his back. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders isn't saying no totally. She's just saying no right now.
I don't know. I think the left and the Democrats are going to use this to try to put, the fracture of the Republican Party even further. She hasn't given an endorsement right now.
She literally just took office a couple months ago.
Right. She's got her own state to worry about. Just chill out for a second, Prez.
Sarah Sanders signing a measure in Arkansas rolling back child labor protections. This was just signed into a law, and it repeals a number of statewide child labor laws in Arkansas, including one that required employers to get work certificates for children under the age of 16.
Yeah, so they're eliminating a lot of this needless red tape. You read into this, and the child labor laws that actually protect kids will still apply.
Right.
Like my kid right now.
You're not sending an 8-year-old to a coal mine.
Yeah, exactly. Although your kids are probably like mine. He's 11 years old. He's ready to go to work now.
Yeah, my young one is.
He'd rather go to work than school, almost. And I like that in him. I don't know where he gets it. He didn't get that from me.
My old one likes going to school. He's got a good thing going. My young one, he wants to become a pilot. So he's like, I'm ready to go to like a flight academy now, and let's get this thing rolling.
There's several in Indy. I don't know about several. I know of one or two at least.
So California has decided to end Walgreens' contract because of an abortion dispute.
Oh, they're not doing the pills anymore, are they?
California's Governor Greasy Gavin Newsom canceled a $54 million contract with Walgreens after the pharmacy giant said it would not mail order an abortion pill in some states with a conservative majority. So Gavin Newsom's office will now look elsewhere to purchase the medication.
Okay, that's fine. But look, I don't want to hear any more about Ron DeSantis in Florida and how Florida is interfering with Disney World and their woke policies, and him sort of renegotiating or taking away some of the incentives and tax advantages Disney World has. Tell me the difference. I don't like your policies, so I'm canceling your contract with Walgreens because you won't send abortion pills to some states that may or may not be illegal anyway. I have no idea about that kind of thing in terms of the abortion pill, how available it is in red states and where it is. But tell me how it's different. Tell me how it's different that, DeSantis was getting raked over the coals. Oh, government interfering in private business.
Right.
With Disney World, because Disney World kind of has its own deal, right? It's its own.
It was its own like sanctuary there for a little while.
Right.
Long while.
So now DeSantis is saying, all right, I'm not doing business with Walgreens anymore because of your policies.
So I expect to see the New York Times and the Washington Post and MSNBC and CNN have guest after guest and article after article about how the governor's interfering with private business.
Sure.
Think that's going to happen? Mm-hmm. Doubtful. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
All right, keep your feet on the steering wheel or I can see them. First you go letting oversized invisible rabbits drive motor vehicles. Next thing you know, you got them speeding all over town. Dang it, Harvey! Why the fire and hurry? It ain't rabbit season, is it? Oh, on your way to the gun and knife and outdoor show, you say, huh? Down at the fairgrounds? Well, I don't blame you. They got everything outdoor enthusiasts like ourselves could ever want or need. Yep, you name it, they got it right there. What's that? That's why you gotta hurry to buy up all the guns, knives, and rabbit stewing cookbooks they got. Well, of all the harebrained ideas, you can't do that. Why? Well, because the Indy 1500 Gun, Knife, and Outdoor Show is only the largest show of its kind this side of the Mississippi. Harvey, what's wrong with you? Get your paws off me! Hey, you just rabbit punched an officer of the law, mister! Harvey, get back here! Harvey, come back! Harvey! Oh, dang it, I just knew this was going to be a bad hair day.
Celebrity voice imaginary character impersonated. The Indy 1500 Gun, Knife, and Outdoor Show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the State Fairgrounds.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Living tobacco-free is important to a healthy lifestyle. Make this your opportunity to break free.
Are you ready to quit?
Quit Now Indiana is now offering a new customizable quit plan called Pick Quit.
Pick Quit allows you to choose from a variety of tools that work best for your quit journey.
Pick Quit is a better way to break free from tobacco.
Get the help you need.
No lectures.
No pressure.
Just free help.
Go to quitnowindiana.com today.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
So earlier we asked the question, when was the last time you gave someone the finger? And we posted that question. It's on Twitter and Facebook. Nige, here are some of the responses from Facebook.
Okay.
Again, the question, when was the last time you gave someone the finger? Lindsay, Tuesday. T. Sutt, every day. Timothy Pace, daily. Jeff Gettle, actually about 10 minutes ago. Crystal Hammer, to you last night. I love how many people have given somebody the finger recently. I'm not the only one. Matt Baer, when was the last time you gave somebody the finger?
About 45 minutes ago in New York and Penn. We're looking at the east side right now. Southbound 465 slows from 70 and Washington Street. Also on the northeast side, northbound 465 tightens from Fall Creek up to 69. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Pacers have a home game tonight. If you're going to that game, maybe keep an umbrella in your car or something because we're supposed to get some rain later tonight, and it might last for a while. Right now, though, cloudy skies, 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Cocaine Mitch is in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Plus, Tucker Carlson responding to Chuck Schumer and everybody who wants his show pulled off the air. We'll have all that for you after 4 o'clock. I'm Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. This is bizarre. A waitress in the UK says that she has a lifelong fear of ketchup.
Of what?
The condiment has even brought her to tears.
Ketchup.
At certain points. Yes, ketchup. Here is Her name is Charlie Everett, talking about her major phobia.
It's quite unusual for me to be near a lot of ketchup bottles. If I just feel really, it almost feels like they want to come and eat me and they want to hurt me. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to be near it. I just want it away. If these ketchup bottles were open, I would not be in this room. I would be sprinting down that road. The smell is suffocating. Oh, it's warm.
It's one thing to not like something.
And this woman is a waitress. She's a server.
Right.
Maybe get into a different line of work, or maybe check yourself into a loony bin.
You know, it's one thing to not like or care for the flavor or smell of something, but to have a phobia of it, of like a food item. If you want to tell me you've got a fear of heights, or you got a fear of clowns or something like that, a fear of the ocean, all right, we got ourselves a ball game here. But ketchup?
Could you imagine you're a server and, can I have some fries? Can I have some ketchup with these fries? And the walls start closing in on you. You shake, you start sweating.
She starts looking at you like Biden when he saw the Easter Bunny. Ma'am, are you okay?
I'm looking at this. She works at a pub. Yeah, it might be time for a different line of work. One incident left her in tears after she spilled ketchup on her shoes, resulting in her boss having to comfort her. Yeah, might need some help.
She would have been scared to death if she were with me at a Cubs game a couple years ago. So after the game, we're going up and down to Wrigleyville, and we stop at one of the bars. And we're getting something to eat, bellied up, having a good time. And I've got like some fries and a burger. I open up the ketchup bottle, and it just whoosh, all over my shirt, man. The bar gave me one of their shirts, like one of the T-shirts that they sell. So I had something else to put on. But for a minute there, it looked like I had been shot.
Are you one of those insane, psychotic lunatics that puts the ketchup on your French fries while you eat them as opposed to on the side to where you can dip them?
I'm a side guy, but I'm not against it being on the top.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's not a deal breaker for me. If my options are eating fries with ketchup on top or not eating fries at all, I will eat the fries with the ketchup on the top.
Allison?
Oh, definitely side.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point. You're all messy.
Exactly. You get
And then
ketchup all over
everything's
your
gonna be
hands.
sticky. It just ruins it.
If you're a ketchup on top of your fries person, let us know why.
Yeah, why?
We need to find out why. Does it soak in? Do you want the ketchup to soak into the fry?
There's really no reason for it, other than if you don't have anywhere else to put the ketchup. If they just give you the bottle and there's no room.
If the plate is full.
Yeah, you got to make room now. I'm putting it on my napkin.
You can stack the fries up and then make room on the side, right? Like fries can go on top of each other. It's not like it's.
I've put ketchup on a napkin before. I've squeezed it out on a napkin because I didn't have a side plate. Yeah.
Now, at any point in your life, have you ever used ketchup with pizza?
Yes, absolutely. Just recently, actually, the other night.
Really?
Yeah, not late night, but me and my daughter were sitting there eating. I grabbed the ketchup, mixed it with a little ranch, and kind of dipped the crust in it.
Oh, a little Nigel sauce there.
There you go. Fancy Nigel sauce.
Top stories next.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network.
Go on.
Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless fill-in and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. We continue to save our new customers 30 to 40% when compared to their present individual or small group coverages. Many of our plans feature zero deductible and zero copays, coverage guaranteed to age 65, and the largest network in the nation with 2 A-rated companies. We've been in the same location, the same phone number for 27 years. We'll be here when you need us. My early mentor in the insurance business was fond of saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you always had. If you're unhappy with your present coverage and price, stop doing what you've always done. Call us at 317-435-1718 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-435-1718 or rragency.org. Thought for the day, if our country's such an awful place, why do millions come here to be free? God bless America, or at least what she used to be.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's springtime in Indiana, and that means everything from slush and dirt to seed pods and mulch being tracked into the home. And between the kids, the dogs, and even ourselves as carriers of this junk onto the floors and carpets, it's time to call Zero Res. Zero Res is my go-to team for cleaning carpets, hardwood floors, ceramic tile and grout, and even area rugs to give it that smart, lasting spring cleaning. Winter was messy, but it's soon to be a bad memory with the help of Zero Res. I call them because no one else can clean with ZR water, the patented technology that cleans with electrolyzed water. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. Zero Res cleans so much better with less flooding of your carpets and padding. The reason is the water itself attracts the dirt. They'll stay cleaner longer with a softer and fluffier feeling that you will absolutely notice. They have over 3,000 Google reviews with a 4.95 out of 5-star rating. And right now, when you mention WIBC, you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $149. Call 388-5141 or schedule your appointment at ZeroResIndy.com.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese.
Lunch is ready.
He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later. Because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Crown Hill Funeral and Crown Hill Cemetery. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how a state trooper was hurt changing a flat. One man is dead after a shooting in Greenwood last night. And Sasha Nixon reports on murder charges for a man who hit an officer. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The president says he's ready. Lisa Brady, Fox News, inviting the House Speaker to lay out his proposed budget and then have a meeting in search of common ground.
My budget reflects what we can do to lift the burden on hardworking Americans. And there's more than one way to do that.
The president's priorities include lowering costs for childcare, health care, and college.
How much do things cost? It's not just whether inflation. We brought down inflation 7 months in a row. We're going to whip it.
He's proposing trillions in tax hikes to help pay for his plan, pledging again it won't impact anyone earning under $400,000 a year. But Republicans say it's a reckless blueprint that will be dead on arrival in the GOP-controlled House. Wall Street goes back to worrying about inflation and the Fed's next move on rate hikes. The Dow down 542 points at the closing bell, down more than 1,000 the past 3 days. A railroad executive tells lawmakers he is deeply sorry for the impact of a toxic train derailment in Ohio.
I am determined to make this right.
Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw pledging an urgent and thorough cleanup and saying his company will help lead industry-wide safety improvements. The railroad still faces multiple lawsuits over the crash in East Palestine, Ohio, which remains under investigation. Shaw and the NTSB chair are now scheduled to appear at another Senate hearing later this month. Norfolk Southern had another derailment this morning in Calhoun County, Alabama.
Though these incidents are receiving a lot of coverage right now, which makes sense, and I'm sure they have a lot of questions, it's totally reasonable for them to have that question. Safety remains number one priority, and we'll make sure that we learn from all these things.
Spokesman Connor Spielmaker says more than 30 cars derailed today, but none were carrying hazardous materials. The Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell remains hospitalized after falling at a D.C. hotel last night. A spokesman says he's being treated for a concussion, expected to stay in the hospital for a few days. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They were trying to help someone out. Radar shows some rain from the west getting closer. It's 54 and cloudy on the circle. Lows sub 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. This morning, Indiana State Trooper Antoine Johnson was hurt while helping a driver with a flat tire on I-465. Sergeant John Brine says incidents like these are often overlooked when it comes to the dangers of police work.
As first responders, we certainly recognize the dangers that we have to put ourselves into to protect other people. And oftentimes that danger is kind of in the background.
The background included the construction near Allisonville Road. 21-year-old Andre Murphy was driving without a license when he collided with the back of the trooper's car. Both the trooper and the driver of that vehicle with a flat tire were taken to the hospitals with injuries. They're expected to be okay. Prosecutors have charged Terry Sands with murder in connection to the death of an Indiana State Police Master Trooper. Sasha Nixon explains.
Fort Wayne police say they tried to stop Sands last Friday, but he instead led them on a chase. Master Trooper James Bailey then tried to help. Bailey was setting up stop sticks when police say Sands hit Bailey with his car. The officer was taken to the hospital where he later died. Sands has now been charged with murder, resisting law enforcement, and operating with a controlled substance resulting in death. Detectives believe he had intentionally driven toward Bailey. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The shooting Wednesday night outside of the Ale Emporium in Greenwood started with an argument. Police say their suspect took off in a black SUV after shooting Timothy Sanito.
We have a lot of pieces of technology that help us track down vehicles and people that we're looking for, and hopefully that pans out and can help us locate our suspect.
Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen. Sanito later died in the hospital. If you know anything about the shooting, call Greenwood PD. You'll be dealing with some rain tonight.
The most likely areas to be affected from this system would really be all of central Indiana and portions of northern Indiana as well.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says most places will get less than an inch of rain. It's supposed to last through Friday, and it all starts late tonight. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Hey, I've been on the Exercise Inc. program for years, and I love it, especially since I don't have a lot of time to spend in a traditional gym. Exercise Inc. is a once-a-week strength training program that lasts for 20 minutes. Now, 20 minutes might not sound like a lot, but let me tell you what Exercise Inc. has done for me. Not only does it save me a bunch of time getting the physical activity my body craves, but I've lost 20 pounds following my personal trainer's guidance on diet and eating habits. So not only am I getting one-on-one coaching inside the gym, but I'm getting help on what to do to stay active and live a healthier lifestyle outside the gym as well. I feel better, lost inches off my waist, had to buy new clothes, and I'm able to chase my kids up and down the stairs without getting winded. Call Exercise Inc. right now to find out more. 317-750-2219 or exerciseinc.com. There are locations all over town: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, and Zionsville. Call Exercise Inc. Again, that number 750-2219, or visit exerciseinc.com and check out all the success stories. Change your life in 20 minutes a week with Exercise Inc.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, looking at some spots of slow here as we have eastbound 465 now dragging from Keystone Avenue over 269 and inbound 69 stop and go around 96. And pockets of slow traffic, not too bad yet. South side eastbound 465, Man to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. When you choose Comcast Business, you choose a future-ready next generation 10G network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock!
Our best wishes to the health of Senator Mitch McConnell. Senate Majority Leader has been taken to the hospital.
Cocaine overdose?
Cocaine Mitch, as he's been nicknamed. I think that has to do something with his wife owning some shipping containers, and his opponent at the time was trying to say that they got busted with a bunch of coke on one of these boats or containers. It was completely untrue. But at the time of Mitch McConnell's campaign Kentucky, his opponent tried to use that story against him. So
and it totally backfired because he sells merch that says Cocaine Mitch on it.
He does. That's true. Yes. You could donate to Mitch McConnell's campaign by ordering a shirt that says Cocaine Mitch. Dollars go straight into his coffers. But anyway, he fell. He tripped and fell at a hospital or at a hotel in Washington. He was at some private dinner or something. And look, man, you're 80 plus years old and you take a spill like that.
It's bad.
It's rough.
It's scary. Like, you get to a certain age, if you're a guy, or a woman too, there's a certain age of your life where getting in and out of the bathtub starts to become a little bit more dicey. You get to a certain age where if you fall, you start thinking to yourself, oh no, this isn't going to be good.
And it's something like that where you're that age, you don't want to go to the hospital either because they'll find other things wrong with you. They'll find it's like you won't get out. Some people have taken a spill. Some people have taken a fall. And I know firsthand that didn't go home.
Right.
That either were sent to hospice and stayed there for the short end of their life or didn't make it at all.
And if we're going to rip on Joe Biden for falling all the time, again, this is one example for Mitch McConnell. Biden does it frequently. But if we're going to rip on Biden for being old and decrepit and not being able to stay on his feet, then the same has to be done for Mitch McConnell. And maybe this is a conversation about age and term limits. Now, that's never going to happen because the swamp is real. The swamp is powerful. The establishment loves to have power. They do not want to get rid of it. But, man, look at some of these folks. Chuck Grassley, Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden. I mean, this isn't even like the Golden Girls ages. These guys could be the fathers of Blanche and Dorothy and all the Golden Girls. They could be the dads, the golden dudes.
You think about Bill Clinton and Joe Biden. Bill Clinton's still not as old as Joe Biden was back when he was president, if that makes any sense. Maybe I've got it reversed. But you walk in the room, Bill Clinton and Joe Biden still in a room together, and Biden is still older than it.
One looks better than the other for their age.
Totally. I hit a brick wall there at the point I was trying to make. But
see, you're turning into Biden. You're turning into Biden.
Give me a beer. I might be able to think more clearly.
But some people Trump isn't that far off of Joe Biden's age. Trump looks a lot better than Biden, and he's even fatter. Like, Trump's got got some McDonald's in that belly. Biden's some KFC in there, some Famous Bowls. Biden's not a fat guy. He's just so frail and so feeble. He just looks horrible, man. And we're at that point with Mitch McConnell. And again, we're never going to get there, but term limits and age limits has to happen. But there's a better chance of me becoming the number one pick in the NBA draft. So last night, Tucker Carlson on his program responded to people like Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell who want to pull his show off the air. Now, on Monday, he released some of the January 6th video that was not part of the January 6th committee hearings. And the world melted down. Panties got wadded and buttholes got tight and everybody melted down because Tucker showed you stuff that probably you should have seen already. But you've got some politicians wanting his show pulled off the air because of it. Here's Tucker.
Oh, we cherry-picked. Really? What they're saying, ironically, what they're describing, ironically, is exactly what the January 6th committee and the prosecutors in these cases did for 2 years. They selectively picked small segments of tape to convince Americans that January 6th was something that it wasn't. It was awful. We would not defend that. We hate vandalism. We hate assault. Was it a violent insurrection? It was not. Was it a killing of 5 officers in the Capitol? It was not. Those are lies. And they buried tape that contradicted and revealed those lies. So all we did was play the tape that they had been hiding for 26 months and show that there were American citizens, Jacob Chansley specifically, and others whose civil liberties were annihilated. And you can make your own rational judgments about what that means. Do you want to live in a country where that's possible? They don't care. Neither party in Washington cares. In fact, the leader of the Senate Democrats, Chuck Schumer, just joined the leader of the Senate Republicans, Mitch McConnell, in calling for this show to be pulled off the air.
And The other thing I noticed with Tucker Carlson is that he wasn't saying, again, that it was violence. There was no violence. He was focusing on certain aspects of some of the popular narratives that were perpetuated by January 6th, like the death of Officer Sicknick, like Josh Hawley and running away, and especially the QAnon shaman, and how he was a violent insurrectionist terrorist.
The Viking guy, the shaman, the Chewbacca guy. This was supposed to be the guy that was going to bring down our democracy. The world's strongest military, and that's going to be the thing that brings down our democracy.
When you put it like that, it does sound absurd, doesn't it?
Here's a little bit more from Tucker last night.
So we invited Schumer on, McConnell. Anybody is always welcome to come on our show. If we got something wrong, tell us how. If you think we altered the tape in some way, tell us how. But they won't. Nor will they answer the most basic question, which is why should a demonstrably nonviolent man who literally said a prayer of thanksgiving for police officers on the Senate floor, how is that man ISIS? How is he a domestic terrorist? How is he a threat to the Republic? Why is he in jail for 4 years? Shut up! Pull that show off the air!
And the thing that he did at the beginning of that sound clip, he invited them on. Okay? If you think Tucker Carlson is lying, go on his show, call him a liar, and point out where. But what happens with these super leftist individuals and groups, and I've seen this firsthand with Channel 13, when you bust them lying, they want nothing to do with you. They want absolutely nothing to do with you. I invited old 2Ls on this program multiple times, Bob Siegel, and the government proved me right against Channel 13, but nobody wants to come on this show. Nobody wants to talk to me. They didn't want me part of their report, and it's the exact same thing happened to Tucker Carlson right now.
But you said extreme left and progressive. It's Republicans, too. It's Mitch McConnell.
You're right. You're right.
It's Mitt Romney. It's establishment Republicans that are desperate to be accepted and liked by other Democrats and mainstream media. I think the mainstream media is jealous in some ways that Tucker beat them to the punch on some of this stuff. And the absurd analogy, the Pearl Harbor and 9/11 comparisons are laughable, if not offensive, and those narratives have been destroyed. And now they got to have somebody to blame. It's funny they're focusing their ire solely on Tucker Carlson. I mean, the January 6th committee had months and months and months of attention, 1,000 witnesses, hundreds of
primetime television.
Primetime television to make their point. What are they so worried about now with some talk show hosts?
If the January 6th commission, whatever you want to call them, if they had the truth on their side, then why not have Jim Banks on the committee? Why not have Jim Jordan on the committee?
That's the other thing, yeah.
They told those two, you're not allowed to be part of this. So we're going to find the two biggest lapdogs we could find in Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, two biggest never-Trumpers we're going to find.
Who don't even have jobs in politics anymore.
Right.
Because they were voted out or redistricted.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the truth is on your side, why not show the footage that Tucker had? The public will make up their mind. You could spin it however you want, but they didn't do that because this whole thing's full of crap. Did you see the story that Sean Kemp, former NBA player, Concord High School basketball star here in Indiana?
Awesome dunker.
Dude, the Rain Man, one of the best dunkers of all time. One thing he could not do in his basketball career was shoot. One thing he can do in his personal life, apparently, is shoot. He has been taken into custody for felony drive-by shooting after an incident at a Tacoma mall in Washington. So the story, as I understand it, is that Sean Kemp kind of was pulling an OJ here. He found out that some goods had been stolen from him. He found the person that he thought had the goods, confronted that person. Now, Sean Kemp's story is the other person shot at him first. So he returned fire to protect himself, but he is the one in custody right now.
Sounds like very OJ-ish.
Right.
To me, doesn't it?
OJ trying to get his memorabilia back. Yeah. And last time I checked, OJ, that was the only thing he got busted for. The whole killing two people he got away with, but the memorabilia they threw the book at him for. All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
East Side southbound 465 stop and go from 70 down to Brookville Road. Also northbound 465 slows through Lawrence from Penn Pike 269. Eastbound 465 stop and go. Keystone to Allisonville Road and eastbound 72 downtown. Slow Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl. A fluffy buttermilk biscuit, sausage gravy, potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a freshly cracked egg for breakfast at participating Wendy's. Limited time only. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The clock is ticking. We are getting closer and closer to another edition of Biden Madness. We're just about 30 minutes away from another matchup, and we'll pick yesterday's winner. Biden Madness is coming up. But first, we got America's fastest growing game sensation.
Come on.
Is This Anything? It's 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing. We get it through our direct importer, no middleman connections, the foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's uncompromising quality, from hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings, only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
My drinking was out of control. It was tearing my family apart and controlling my life. I had a choice, and I chose Landmark Recovery's addiction treatment program. They showed me a proven pathway to recovery. What will you choose?
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
When 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning shows up at your doorstep, you can expect a friendly, knowledgeable, and prepared technician to handle the task at hand. Getting your service done correctly and on time is our priority. Visit OneHourAirIndy.com to book an appointment online and save $90 off your next repair.
Skyworks Equipment Rental of Indianapolis has immediate openings for experienced parts coordinators, heavy equipment mechanics, CDL drivers, and outside sales reps. Full-time with medical, disability, PTO, 401k, and more. Apply today at skyworksllc.com/jobs. Skyworks, building America from the ground up.
In a wreck and want to win? I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs. For over 30 years, our team at Isaacs & Isaacs Personal Injury Lawyers has fought the big insurance companies. And with over $1 billion recovered, we know how to win. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run some stories by you. You are going to break down all of the information. You're going to be the judge. You give us the verdict. Is the story anything or not? I'm a little hesitant to even do this first story because I don't want some program director somewhere to get the idea. But a company is now selling AI radio hosts to radio stations.
Please.
Radio GPT is a company, and they say that replacing humans is the furthest thing from their mindset right now. Wink, wink. So let's see if you can tell the difference between a real human radio host and the AI radio host.
Coming up, I have some Floyd that is pink. Also, a request for the brothers with a doobie. And a classic from the Stones that are rolling. But first, Sweat Home Alabama from LYNYRD, SKYNRYD.
Was that AI or a human?
I believe that was AI, if I'm not mistaken. But no, this is nothing because radio personalities have been replaced by computers for a long time. I got replaced by a computer in 2002. The Prophet system that at the time Clear Channel uses, now I believe it's iHeartRadio. They fired me. I was doing nights at X103 from 6 to 10. And they fired me, and they pumped some guy in from Tampa that called himself Fletch that pretended and tried to fool everybody like he was here in Indianapolis.
I remember that, and he was a turd.
And he would use the term, yeah, I got stuck in traffic on I-465 today. and
the 465.
And I remember it being like, that must have been a slow news day at the Indy Star because I was on the front page of the Indy Stars and talking about how DJs were being replaced by computers. What they were doing is called voice tracking and trying to make it sound like they're in live. And I remember at the time X103 asked me to come back just part-time, but not get paid full-time. And I got hired here in this building. I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. And they ended up bringing, who did they bring in? I think they brought in Alex B. back in to replace me and replace that guy voice track pumped in from Tampa, but they weren't paying him crap.
How about those Indianapolis Colts? Like it's just patched and put together.
Here, look, I do have, here is the real radio GBT attempt at a news duo. This is real audio. Now, this clip that we're going to start, it was posted, but the clip had already began in progress. And listen at the end when the female bot comes up with the kind of like a wacky ad lib at the end.
Illegal for dogs to stick their heads out of car windows. The idea is to keep dogs safer, but many pet owners say the law would take away one of their dog's greatest joys.
What's next? Will they make it illegal to fly your airplane hand out the car window?
Live, made locally in Springfield, and 100% voiced and powered by AI. This is Radio GPT.
So that was that's what it sounds like, which is kind of scary. I mean, those did sound like human beings, didn't they?
I'm going to have to ask the YouTube chat to be nice. That was not better than Rob Kendall. Everybody, that's not funny. Stop it.
Keep on.
That was not better than Rob Kendall. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves, and you got a lot of growing up to do. Is this anything? Somebody took famous artists singing "yeah," the word "yeah,"
right,
and made a song out of it. See how many of these artists you can name.
Pen here.
How many could you get?
I was writing down furiously. Hold on.
Because I've got the list here. Now, I might have you play that again here in just a moment.
Here's what I heard. I heard Usher, David Lee Roth, I heard Metallica, I heard Britney Spears, I heard Nickelback, and then I thought I heard Little John. Did I get that right?
You got some of those good. Some of those are right. This is the exact order.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, this is the order, and then we're going to play it back for you. Taylor Swift, Usher, Michael Jackson, Dua Lipa, Van Halen, Nirvana, Snoop, Metallica, Miley Cyrus, Britney, Nickelback, Lil Jon, The Beatles, and then Queen.
Oh, I should have got the Queen one at the end there. That was kind of hard because the clips were on top of each other.
And it was moving quickly.
Yeah, but I got some of them right.
Is this anything? Two guys were filming a podcast in a Houston coffee shop when an out-of-control car came crashing through the window right behind them, right where they were sitting. Now, both of these guys are okay. Here's the real-time audio of this happening.
It got so quiet in here. How did I... I think we're fine. I think we got all the audio on there.
Yeah, we're good. Everyone's good.
I love how they're concerned. Did we get the audio?
Did we get it? Did we get the shot?
We're gonna go. Somebody just came crashing through the window of this coffee shop, and I want to make sure we got the audio so our podcast could go viral. Yeah, no, I don't think this is really anything.
It kind of worked. I mean, we're talking about
it right now. Yeah, you're right.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Hey, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Why does We Grow Hair Indy have the best hair transplant results? Because they have the best technology. And I'm living proof of it. This is Rob. I'm out and about in the community for this radio station, and I feel so much better because We Grow Hair Indy has the technology that restored both my hairline and my crown area. And this year, they can restore yours too. Call them right now at 317-522-2995. Here's Darren Andrews to explain.
Having that strong hairline again completely changes the way you see yourself. It makes a huge difference. A lot of people think the crown cannot be transplanted. It's actually an area of specialty for us with our multi-unit hair grafting.
My hair is going to grow the rest of my life. I'm very happy I called We Grow Hair Indy. Call right now for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard in hair restoration.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A dangerous part of the job. Partly cloudy, 53 degrees downtown with some rain on the radar. Low of 38 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. State Trooper Antoine Johnson in Indianapolis was hurt in a car crash this morning while helping out a driver change a flat on 465.
While he was sitting there, he was inside of his car. Fortunately,
when another westbound vehicle came along and hit the back of his police car.
Sergeant John Perrine, he says a 21-year-old named Andre Murphy drove the car even though he didn't have a valid driver's license. Murphy was not hurt in the crash, but Johnson and the driver of the car with a flat were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man who hit and killed a state trooper with his car in Fort Wayne has been charged with murder. Investigators believe Terry Sands II was being chased by police on I-69 when he crashed his car, hitting Trooper James Bailey. Online court records show Sands also faces charges of resisting law enforcement and for driving under the influence. They believe he did it intentionally. President Biden is laying out his budget plan.
Medicare finally has the power now to negotiate for lower drug prices. It's going to reduce the deficit this year, $160 billion.
While speaking to union workers in Philadelphia, Biden said the budget also includes capping the cost of insulin at $35 a month for all Americans. Another Norfolk Southern train has gone off the tracks. This time it happened in eastern Alabama, about 80 miles out of Birmingham. The Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency said about 30 cars derailed, but there are no injuries or any leaks to be concerned about. How it all happened is still being investigated. You'll be dealing with rain tonight and Friday morning.
Friday, we're expecting essentially that morning system. The rain will be tapering off and will generally be cloudy by late afternoon. There could be an isolated light shower around.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says another system will move in this weekend. There could also be some snow Sunday. Another tough day on the market. The Dow finishing down 543 to 32,254. The Nasdaq down 237 to 11,338. And the S&P 500 dropping 73 points on your Thursday to 3,918. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Indianapolis, do you have old, ugly, or even damaged concrete? Not sure what to do about it, but you know you need to do something? Well, you need to call Galaxy Concrete Coatings. This product is out of this world, and it's right here in Indianapolis. And just in time to give your concrete floors a transformation. Galaxy Concrete Coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy. It's designed to not only work on your garage floor, but you can use it on driveways, walkways, around your pool or patio, commercial or residential. And it's UV resistant, which means it will not yellow. And even better, it can be ready to go in about 24 hours. Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or call 317-751-9070. Indy, you're ready for a transformation. Call Galaxy Concrete Coatings today, 317-751-9070. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They are out of this world.
With traffic at 4:34, here's Matt Baer.
Keystone's jammed at Millersville Road because of a 2-car crash, and somebody did get hurt in this. And Millersville Road is between Fall Creek, Binford, and 38th Street's right there in the middle, and Keystone stopped in both directions. So again, that's Keystone at Millersville. Stay clear crash. Eastside southbound 465 crash before Brookville Road. It's on the shoulder, the left shoulder, and traffic stop and go to Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer, there's a congressional investigation going on right now into Biden's just awful botched withdrawal from Afghanistan in late 2021, I believe in August of 2021. It was tough watching this Marine tear up, testifying how basically his superiors ignored his warnings minutes before that airport blast in Kabul. Here is Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews. Here, just talking initially about the withdrawal and how it was a catastrophe for everyone.
Our military members and veterans deserve our best because that is what we give to America. The withdrawal was a catastrophe, in my opinion, and there was an inexcusable lack of accountability and negligence. The 11 Marines, 1 sailor, and 1 soldier that were murdered that day have not been answered for.
And you can hear in his voice, he's crying, he's tearing up, he's having a hard time, he's pouring out his soul to this committee, trying to reflect on the worst day of his life.
And it gets even worse when he starts talking about how he was denied permission to shoot the would-be suicide bomber that killed his compatriots.
These next two sound bites you're going to hear show the incompetence of the Joe Biden woke military. Okay? Again, this is Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews.
Over the communication network, we passed that there was a potential threat and an IED attack imminent. This was as serious as it could get. I requested engagement authority while my team leader was ready on the M110 semi-automatic sniper system. The response, leadership did not have the engagement authority for us. Do not engage. I requested for the battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Brad Whited, to come to the tower to see what we did. While we waited for him, psychological operations individuals came to our tower immediately and confirmed the suspect met the suicide bomber description. He eventually arrived and we showed him our evidence, the photos we had of the two men. We reassured him of the ease of fire on the suicide bomber. Pointedly, we asked him for engagement authority and permission. We asked him if we could shoot. Our battalion commander said, and I quote, "I don't know," end quote. Myself and my team leader asked very harshly, "Well, who does? Because this is your responsibility, sir." He again replied, he did not know, but would find out. We received no update and never got our answer. Eventually, the individual disappeared. To this day, we believe he was a suicide bomber. We made everyone on the ground aware. Operations had briefly halted, but then started again. Plain and simple, we were ignored.
So nobody knew the chain of command. Nobody knew what to do. And this brave hero identified what would become the suicide bomber and wasn't allowed to do anything because he's following orders and protocol.
It makes my stomach churn. And the fact that this wound up being the suicide bomber just makes everything that happened on that day as if it could get any worse. Now we're learning they had a chance to take this guy, this terrorist, this guy that is burning in hell right now. They had a chance to take him out before he took his fellow officers and civilians away off this earth. It's horrible.
So instead of maybe worrying about what critical race theory books our brave men and women should be reading, perhaps get your head out of your backside and show a little leadership here, because there was a complete lack of leadership and it cost people their lives. Here's a little bit more from Sergeant Vargas Andrews.
Our expertise was disregarded. No one was held accountable for our safety. About 17:30, Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover, friend and mentor, came to get me from the tower to go help find an Afghan interpreter in the crowd. We found the interpreter and his brother, born with American passports. They told us of 5 family members still in the canal. I stayed there waiting for the family members standing against a 2-foot canal wall. 10 minutes passed. Then a flash and a massive wave of pressure. I'm thrown 12 feet onto the ground, but instantly knew what had happened. I opened my eyes to Marines dead or unconscious lying around me. A crowd of hundreds immediately vanished in front of me, and my body was catastrophically wounded with 100 to 150 ball bearings now in it. Almost immediately, we started taking fire from the neighborhood, and I saw how injured I was with my right arm, completely shredded and unusable. I saw my lower abdomen soaked in blood. I crawled backwards roughly 7 feet because I thought I was still in harm's way. My body was overwhelmed from the trauma of the blast. My abdomen had been ripped open. Every inch of my exposed body, except for my face, took ball bearings and shrapnel.
Biden voters, this is on you. If you voted for Joe Biden, stories like this are on you, because an incompetent leader turning the military even woker than it had been in previous years, this is on you. This disastrous withdrawal, and then for Joe Biden to be back at home when those brave men and women were sent home in caskets, to be sitting there looking at his watch like he's bored and can't wait to get out of there. I'm sorry, man. This fires me up.
They were being the caskets were being unloaded off the airplane, and he's sitting there looking at his watch.
Just disgusting, horrific. Now I remember when January 6th happened, and Stephen Colbert, with that smug look on his face, went on television that night. Trump voters, are you happy? This is on you. This is your fault. Well, guess what? Biden voters, this is on you.
Works both ways, pal.
In other testimony news, it was a big day for testimony on Capitol Hill. Former CDC Director Redfield says that he was excluded from Dr. Fauci and Jeremy Farrar, the chief scientist of the WHO, when they were originally exploring the origins of COVID.
In early to mid-January, I did have multiple calls with Fauci, Farrar, and Tedros about how important I thought it was that science get engaged in aggressively pursuing both hypotheses. I also expressed, as a clinical virologist, that I felt it was not scientifically plausible that this virus went from a bat to humans and became one of the most infectious viruses that we have for humans. All viruses are not the same. So when you look at coronaviruses for SARS and MERS, for example, when they entered the human species, which they did via an intermediate, they never learned how to go human to human. Even to this day, they don't know how to go human to human. So you can't equate Ebola with a coronavirus.
Now, why do you think you were excluded from those calls?
Because it was told to me that they wanted a single narrative, and that I obviously had a different point of view.
Unbelievable.
That's what we've been talking about all the time. The whole time we've been lied to. The whole time we've been deceived. The whole time we've been shifted to one narrative that it went from bats to a pangolin to a human, the coronavirus. When all the while we knew it was from a lab. That makes the most sense, doesn't it? They haven't found any animals. They can't trace it back. But there is obvious evidence that it came from a lab in Wuhan.
And that the United States, i.e. Dr. Fauci, funded what was going on. And that was a topic of conversation during the hearing as well. This is Representative I could never say her name right, Malatakis from New York, with Redfield talking about gain of function.
Dr. Fauci was affirmatively told in an email that NIAID had a monetary relationship with the Wuhan Institute through EcoHealth Alliance.
Yeah.
He was told this in January 27th of 2020. Do you think that Dr. Fauci intentionally lied under oath to Senator Paul when he vehemently denied NIH's funding of gain-of-function research?
I think there's no doubt that NIH was funding gain-of-function research.
Is it likely that American tax dollars funded the gain-of-function research that created this virus?
I think it did, not only from NIH, but from the State Department, USAID, and from DOD.
It's right there. Capitol Hill in a hearing.
And Fauci denied all this under oath during congressional testimony. I'm looking at some notes I was taking back October of 2021. The emails that got leaked or were released to BuzzFeed, of all places, as Tucker Carlson refers to it as the cat website. I mean, the bombshell looking through all this stuff is, the head of EcoHealth Alliance, Peter Daszak, thanked Fauci for, quote, dispelling the myths around the origins of COVID, and he blamed Fox News. Gain of function, of course, I want to remind everybody, that means working to make the virus more lethal, virulent, and contagious. And EcoHealth Alliance, the NIH was like back channeling money to them, who was then giving money to that Wuhan lab. And all of a sudden, we have a bunch of billionaire big pharma getting rich off a vaccine it's close to ineffective. And here we are today. Nothing's going to come of this. Fauci's not going to have to answer for this.
No. As a matter of fact, Fauci's on Fox News right now saying, I've always kept an open mind when it comes to COVID. I've always kept an open mind.
He commissioned a paper in 2020 and had scientists say, this is likely from a Chinese wet market, and there's no way it came from a Wuhan lab.
And, of course, Neil Cavuto is going to let him off the hook because Neil Cavuto is awful. So I need something to cheer me up. I need something that's going to put me in a better mood.
Those were depressing.
I need Biden madness, and Biden madness is coming up next.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
So my 11-year-old is growing out of his bunk bed. He needs a big boy bed, and I wouldn't go anywhere else but Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. My wife and I recently got a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and we love it. If you don't need a mattress, maybe you need a sofa, or a recliner, or a sectional, then this is your store. They offer the best price on Lazy Boys, Indiana-made Smith Brothers, Berlin Gardens Outdoor Furniture, and Thompson Furniture will even now pay your sales tax. That sale ends Monday, April 3rd.
Oh, man, I was down at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus this past Saturday. Met some Hammer and Nigel listener folks that were in the store. Got a new couch, got a new love seat, and nobody makes it easier than Thompson Furniture and Mattress. They've got free delivery if you live within 75 miles of their store, and it's family-owned by the same family since 1927. Thompson Furniture and Mattress, thompsonfurniture.net. Stop by Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Pat Sullivan here. The floodgates are about to open in Indiana as spring approaches. Do you know if your sump pump is working properly? A sump pump is vital to protecting your home from heavy rains and rising waters that do nothing but leave damage in your home. During the month of March, my friends at Hope Plumbing will buy back your old sump pump for $300 with the purchase of an upgraded sump pump and a new battery backup system. Call Hope Plumbing today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
You wanted the best? Well, you got the best. The hottest band in the world.
Kiss. The End of the Road World Tour. Saturday, November 25th, Cambridge Fieldhouse. Kiss. Countdown. The final 50 shows. Reserve seats on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. History will be made.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
We are almost ready. Biden madness coming up right after a look at the roads with Matt Baer.
Stay off Keystone and Millersville. That's between Fall Creek and 38th. It is a crash, 2 vehicles, somebody's hurt. And then we have a crash on the east side, southbound 465 before Brookville Road. Left a shoulder, traffic stop and go past 70. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Rain on the way right now. 52 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And let's do Biden madness.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So Biden madness keeps on rolling, baby. So before we get into a new matchup today, let's reset the matchup we had yesterday. Yesterday, we had the 10 seed taking on the number 7 seed. The number 10 seed is when Joe Biden was trying to pronounce the name of his newly appointed Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, let me say her name one more time. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Close enough. So that was the 10 seed, and it was taking on the number 7 seed. The number 7 seed was one of the 2 clips in this tournament making a second appearance. This was the runner-up on the tournament we did a couple of years ago, where Joe Biden, once again displaying his good old-fashioned folksy racism on an interview with black radio host Charlemagne the God.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You Ain't Black.
I'm assuming that ran away with it. I've not seen the numbers. I purposely don't look because sometimes I'm rooting for one over the other, and I don't want to be disappointed. Like I was disappointed yesterday when you're going to be in for a problem, Bal.
Get ready, Bal.
Get ready, Bal. And that one, I was surprised, got beat.
There's a lot of people upset that Get Ready, Bal was shown the door. And listen, just like regular March Madness, sometimes the favorites get beat. You know, Virginia was a number 1 seed, and they got beat in the tournament one year. The next year, they won the whole thing. So you never know.
I'm assuming You Ain't Black ran away with it.
67% to 33%. You Ain't Black moves on in the tournament.
See, I love Katanja Drown Jackson because it's new. I mean, You Ain't Black has been around for a while.
Right.
And it, like you said, it made but we have to put it in this tournament as well. We had to put like the top 2 from the last time we did this 2 years ago. I understand. But Katanja Brown.
Drown. Like, it's not even brown, it's drown. Like, he got none of this right. Like, Jackson was the only word he got right in this whole woman's name.
I can't even get it wrong. I got it right when I was trying to get it wrong. If that makes any sense.
Katanji Drown Jackson will not be advancing in the tournament.
No, that's a shame.
So here's today's matchup. We've got the number 14 seed against the number 3 seed in this tournament. And again, this number 3 seed is going to be strong. I think it's got a chance to win the whole thing. But let's start with the scrappy underdog. This is from just a month ago. Joe Biden talking about Black History Month to a specific group of voters in Washington, D.C. I believe Al Sharpton was in attendance at this meeting. And once again, folksy racism peeking its head through.
And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Quote, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
I know the perception of white people, we're all a bunch of dumb hillbillies. That's obvious to everybody in this room. I'm a white boy, but I promise you, I'm not stupid.
Could you play that one more time, please?
And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Fact check, you're both. You're both. So that is the number 14 seed in our tournament. Now, the number 3 seed. I don't want to laugh or have too much fun with this, but it has to be in the tournament. So unfortunately, Indiana Representative Jackie Walorski lost her life in an automobile accident.
Yes.
Tragic accident. She and some of her staffers lost their lives in this accident. Well, Joe Biden was speaking at the podium. This was supposed to be some sort of bipartisan piece of legislation. I think Mike Braun was in attendance. And this is shortly after Joe Biden has talked about the passing of Jackie Walorski and I believe named a building after the late Jackie Walorski. Here's Joe Biden at the podium.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
He's looking around the room for Jackie. She's not going to be there, Joe. She's passed away.
That is so cringe. I mean, that is the ultimate.
And this is a couple weeks, after her passing. It wasn't like it had happened that day and he didn't know. He named a building after her. He talked about her passing and then he was looking around for her.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
If you just would have went with, I want to thank the people that signed on to this legislation and named names, that would have been fine. But he goes, you hear Jackie? Where is she?
Where's Jackie? He was almost getting irritated that Jackie wasn't there. So it is open for voting. It's on Twitter, at Hammer and Nigel. We're going to pin it to the top. Which one of these sound bites is more ridiculous and you want it to move on to the next round? Is it where's Jackie or white boy stupid? Vote right now on Twitter, at Hammer and Nigel. Like us, love us, follow us, interact with us, at Hammer and Nigel. Coming up, top stories, KISS tickets, and Rob Kendall stick around.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-200-1966. 800-200-1966.
A horrific car accident left Paula with major injuries and surgery after surgery.
I got to the point where I really couldn't walk. I had to resign from work. I was really just laying in bed. It was terrible. I wouldn't go back under the knife.
She missed working and traveling, but all that was about to change. QC Kinetics used natural biologics to treat Paula. No foreign substances. They provided regenerative treatments that helped subside the pain and restore her quality of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was feeling more movement and doing stuff. And then I started crying. I'm like, I can't believe it.
For Paula, this moment was extremely emotional.
I couldn't do nothing. And now I'm working, and I was on my feet for 7.5 hours, and I feel good. I got my life back because of QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics now for your consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen. To draft an agent for your team, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
The Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. For hunting, sporting, and personal protection gear, visit the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show.
Hubler makes it easy to get your perfect car or truck. Get your vehicle your way. They'll help you pre-order a vehicle built just for you. Visit drivehubler.com.
My drinking was out of control. It was tearing my family apart and controlling my life. I had a choice, and I chose Landmark Recovery's addiction treatment program. They showed me a proven pathway to recovery. What will you choose?
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more. Coming up in 2 minutes, Sasha Nixon reports on the charges for a man who hit and killed a state trooper, who police are looking for after somebody was shot in Greenwood Wednesday night, and how much rain is being called for in your forecast. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
It may not get far. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden's budget is out, facing instant opposition from Republicans who now control the House.
My plan is to make sure the corporations begin to pay their fair share.
The president proposing tax hikes to help pay for the plan, which he says would lower costs for families and cut the deficit. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy telling Fox Business,
it's not a revenue problem. It's a spending. And what does this budget do? Raise more taxes, spends more money, creates probably the biggest government we've ever seen in the history of the United States.
The president urging McCarthy to put out his own plan and then have a meeting. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has a concussion. So a spokesman for the 81-year-old says he fell at a dinner event in D.C. last night and will stay hospitalized.
McConnell is expected to stay in the hospital for a few days of observation and treatment.
His staff says the leader is thankful to the medical staff and colleagues who sent their warm wishes.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. President Biden tweeting his wish for a speedy recovery. Fox News foreign correspondent Benjamin Hall is on a long road of recovery after being severely injured during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, an attack that killed 2 colleagues. Hall has now had about 30 surgeries. He'll be on Hannity tonight, 9 Eastern on Fox News Channel, while the war in Ukraine continues.
The explosions began just before 6 a.m. in the darkness.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Kyiv.
We ran down to the basement here. 2 loud explosions in Kyiv. Explosions, though, in 10 different regions across Ukraine. So if you had a basement at 6 a.m., you were heading down into it.
The biggest barrage in weeks for Russia, killing at least 6 Ukrainian civilians and hitting more critical infrastructure, including a nuclear power plant again. Just getting word of a deadly shooting in Germany. Reports of several people killed and some injured in Hamburg. No details yet. America is listening to Fox News.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The charges are no joke. Cloudy, 52 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Radar shows storms to the west, and they should be here in a few hours. A low of 38 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. He's been charged with murder. Sasha Nixon explains.
Prosecutors have charged Terry Sands in connection with the death of an Indiana State Police master trooper. Fort Wayne police say they tried to stop Sands last Friday, but he instead led them on a chase down I-69. Master Trooper James Bailey then tried to help stop him. Bailey was setting up stop sticks when police say Sands hit Bailey with his car. The officer was taken to the hospital where he later died. Sands has now been charged with murder, resisting law enforcement, and operating with a controlled substance resulting in death. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The shooting Wednesday night outside of the Ale Emporium in Greenwood started with an argument. Greenwood police say their suspect took off in a black SUV after shooting Timothy Sanito.
We have a lot of pieces of technology that help us track down vehicles and people that we're looking for, and hopefully that pans out and can help us locate our suspect.
Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen. Sanito later died in the hospital. If you know anything about the shooting, give Greenwood PD a call. IMPD and the FBI are trying to figure out who's responsible for robbing an armored truck outside of a Napa Auto Parts on the east side off Washington Street. Officers say it happened this morning. Details on a possible suspect have not been released yet. Many places in Indiana are supposed to get close to an inch of rain tonight.
And it will last until early Friday morning. I'm John Herrick.
Friday, we're expecting essentially that morning system. The rain will be tapering off and will generally be cloudy by late afternoon. There could be an isolated light shower around.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says another system will move in this weekend, and there could be some snow in parts of the state on Sunday. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today is $3.42. That's according to GasBuddy.com, and that average is down 1 cent from where it was at the start of the week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest-rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison crash, Keystone Avenue, Millersville Road. Millersville is between Fall Creek Parkway and 38th. 2 vehicles involved. Somebody's hurt. I would stay clear. Inbound 65 to downtown. Stop and go 21st Street to the North Split. Eastbound 70 loaded after Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois. East side southbound 465 slow from an earlier crash that has cleared 72 Washington, and those northbound lanes tight from 70 all the way up to I-69. Traffic Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for the lowest prices and up to $5,000 back on top appliance brands like Electrolux. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, experts since 1930. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
In the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
I'm Nigel. Hammer's over there. Some of the journalists behind the Twitter files were on Capitol Hill today. See, Biden is demanding that Twitter, private company, they have to reveal the names of the journalists with whom they have interacted with at Twitter that have released some of the private conversations and emails between previous employees of Twitter. So Elon Musk buys Twitter. He's for free speech. He's going to open up the book, so to speak, and let journalists check out these conversations with the liberal executives that were purposely trying to squash stories like the Hunter Biden laptop from hell and sort of kind of expose what was going on. You know, certain people's perspectives and opinions were getting squashed while others were being pushed forward. And so he let a bunch of journalists in, including Matt Taibbi, Alex Berenson, and others, come in and examine these files and expose exactly what was going on.
Showing everybody what was behind the curtain, so to speak,
but
at Twitter.
Stuff we already knew, too, right, that we already suspected.
So the super left-leaning leadership of Twitter at the time basically have been busted in these Twitter files, censoring stories that turned out to be true, shadow banning conservative views, and amplifying left-leaning views. And today, two of the journalists that have released some of the Twitter files, Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, they testified on Capitol Hill. So again, Biden's FTC is demanding Twitter reveal the names of the journalists with whom they've interacted with at Twitter. Here is Matt Taibbi.
With true material, there is no basis to restrict the publication of true material, no matter who the source is and how you get it. And journalists have always understood that. And this has never been an issue or a controversial issue until very recently.
And Matt Taibbi is no friend to the right.
He's a Democrat.
Conservatives. Although he understands now how corrupt the mainstream media, the corporate outlets are, and he's kind of gone his own route with his Substack and things like that.
But this certainly isn't, Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity supporters that were doing a hearing today. These are journalists, a registered Democrat, Matt Taibbi, but he's all about absolute free speech and transparency. And a lot of the conversations being had today on Capitol Hill, you could make the same thing about what Tucker Carlson's doing with these January 6th videos. It's transparency. It's letting people see what's really going on, and then you can make up your own mind. Now, Democrat Rep. Stacey Plaskett, she's one of the ranking members on this committee. Here she is asking Matt Taibbi to reveal his sources, and then she insists that she's not asking him to reveal his sources.
Who gave you access to these emails? Who was the individual that gave you permission to access the emails?
Well, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter, and that's what I'm going to refer to.
Okay. Did Mr. Musk contact you, Mr. Taibbi?
Again, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter.
Mr. Schellenberger, did Mr. Musk contact you?
Actually, no. I was brought in by my friend Barry Weiss, and so this story, there's been a lot of misinformation.
So Mr. Weiss brought you in. Mr. Taibbi, Ms. Weiss, thank you. Mr. Taibbi, have you had conversations with Elon Musk?
I have.
Okay. And Mr. Taibbi, did Mr. Musk place any conditions on the use of the
Would the gentlelady yield for a second?
As long as my time is not used.
Are you trying to get journalists?
No, I'm not trying to get sources? No, I'm not.
You just asked him who his sources were.
That was Jim Jordan, by the way.
Right. So let me back up just a little bit. Jim Jordan calling out Stacey Plaskett, and then here are the exact words.
I just think this is interesting. First, the FTC is asking for your background, and now the ranking member of the Committee on the Weaponization of Government is asking for your sources.
I never asked them for their sources.
Yes,
I did not ask for sources. Who gave you access to these emails? Who's the individual that gave you permission to access the emails?
Well, the attribution from my story is sources at Twitter, and that's what I'm going to
Okay, you can stop that. It's not like we're talking about months down the road or years removed. That was like 5 minutes ago.
And isn't, yeah, exactly. And the bigger picture isn't the answer Elon Musk? That's who it is. Isn't that obvious to everybody that Elon Musk is the one that bought Twitter, that overpaid for Twitter by $44.5 billion, and said, "Yeah, you can come in and look at the files." That's the answer. What more does she want, and why does it matter?
Who does the left hate more right now, Donald Trump or Elon Musk? Because Elon Musk took their toy away. He took away Twitter. He took away their ability to shove bull crap down the throats of people.
Who is your source at Twitter? Well, I'll just refer you. And then Jim Jordan goes, "Are you asking a journalist to reveal his sources here in open testimony?" No, I wasn't doing that. It's just like what we've been talking about all along with the Democrats and how they've been gaslighting. Did this happen? Yes, no, whatever.
Right. Karine Jean-Pierre saying that it's the lowest fentanyl ever. No, it's actually the highest ever. Bedingfield, the assistant communications director. Joe Biden's got low energy bills right now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're incredibly high right now. If you ask the Biden administration who won the Super Bowl, the Eagles did. Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and if you think otherwise, you're a racist and an insurrectionist.
Boy, that Plaskett character sure sounded pretty dumb.
Well, we don't hear a little more? Listen to her kind of insults like Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, and good for Taibbi, he kind of claps back.
Mr. Chairman, Americans can see through this. Musk is helping you out politically, and you're going out of your way to promote and protect him and to praise him for his work. This isn't just a matter of what data was given to these so-called journalists before us now. There are many legitimate questions about where Musk got the financing to buy Twitter.
My name is Matt Taibbi. I've been a reporter for 30 years and a staunch advocate of the First Amendment. Much of that time was spent at Rolling Stone magazine. Ranking Member Plaskett, I'm not a so-called journalist. I've won the National Magazine Award, the I.F. Stone Award for Independent Journalism, and I've written 10 books, including 4 New York Times bestsellers.
Would you have been mad at him if he just jumped up on the desk right there and did the old DX crotch chop?
Take that!
I got 2 words for you.
Wow. I would have called her a so-called congresswoman. You're a so-called congresswoman as much as I am a so-called journalist.
Plaskett, man, she is something else, but she wasn't the only one. Listen here as you have Democratic Rep Sylvia Garcia trying to get Taibbi to admit if Elon Musk was his source.
Yeah.
But then, just like WWE, Plaskett, off the top rope, tags back into the match.
The conclusion is that he is, in fact, your source.
Well, you're free to conclude that.
Well, sir, I just don't understand. You can't have it both ways, but let's move on because
no, he can. He's a journalist.
No, he can't because either Musk is the source and he can't talk about it, or Musk is not the source. And if Musk is not the source, then he can discuss his
No one has
conversations
yielded. The
with
gentlelady's
source.
out of order. You don't get to speak.
She's out of order because he's interrupted. You're not recognized.
He has not said that. What he has said is he's not going to reveal his source, and the fact that Democrats are pressuring him to do so is such a violation.
We're asking him about his conversations with Musk.
The gentlelady has not yielded you time. You don't.
I am not yielding time to anybody. I want to reclaim my time, and I would ask the chairman to give me back some of the time because of the interruption.
We will give you that 10 seconds.
Was that the other Democrat that was mad at Plaskett at the end there?
No, they were mad at Jim Jordan. They were trying to team up on Jim Jordan.
Okay, I got you.
So it was Garcia and Plaskett and Jim Jordan, who is the chairperson of this committee, trying to organize this circus.
That's fantastic. And again, I haven't read entirely everything there is to know about these hearings, but I thought Musk, it's pretty obvious that Elon Musk is the source. He's the guy that owns Twitter that let these journalists come in.
But if these journalists don't want to officially say that Elon Musk was the guy or somebody else under Elon Musk, they don't have to.
I thought it was
and it
made
drives
obvious.
them nuts.
Yeah, but I thought it was made obvious to everybody that that was the case, but maybe not.
Now, the other journalist that was there, Michael Schellenberger, he says that Biden's FTC demanding that Twitter reveal the names of all the journalists with whom they've interacted with is pretty chilling and disturbing. Here's Representative Matt Gaetz asking Michael Schellenberger about his experiences.
How did it feel when you found out that you were being expressly targeted by a government document based on your reporting?
It was chilling. I mean, it's disturbing. I never thought that would happen in the United States of America, to be perfectly honest. I've lived in a bunch of authoritarian countries. I've visited a lot of authoritarian countries. Never thought this kind of thing would be going on here.
And again, these aren't writers for Fox News or Town Hall or Red State. These are pretty liberal guys.
Taibbi wrote from Rolling Stone, one of the most leftist publications there is in America.
So all of this negativity on Capitol Hill started to take away my buzz. How about we do something fun? How about we give away some tickets to go see Kiss in concert here in Indy, courtesy of our friends at Live Nation. It's coming up Saturday, November 25th. Caller number 9 right now, 239-9393. You'll get to play the game today, but you got to be caller number 9, 239-9393. Kiss tickets are on the line. Good luck. Matt Baer, what's up?
Keystone Avenue and Hellscape at Millersville Roads because of a crash, and Millersville between 38th and Fall Creek. I would stay clear. Eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go traffic, whole road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 a grind from 21st. Northwest side, northbound 465, stop and go 86th Street up to 865. And southwest side, southbound 465, slow roll 70 past the river. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's the big spring sale at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 today, plus get a free adjustable base with select purchases and spring into better sleep. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
52. Got some rain on the way here at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. When we come back, caller number 9, whoever it's going to be, is going to play Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons. Kiss tickets on the line next.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, "What happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire?" Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 3/21/23. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
I want to dance with somebody.
And now, time to play Gene Simmons.
Hi, this is Gene Simmons, and I'm in a band that gets more chicks than you do. I'm in Kiss, and you're not.
Or Richard Simmons.
Do you love Barbara Streisand?
Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Of all the fun games we've played, with all these special opens that we've had, this may be my favorite. Do you like Barbara Streisand? It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
I'm Jason Hammer, and it's time to give away some tickets to go see Kiss at Gainbridge Fieldhouse Saturday, November 25th, courtesy of Live Nation. Pat is caller number 9. How are you, Pat?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so great. How are you?
Awesome. Are you a Kiss fan, Pat?
I am, yeah. Well, long time, yes.
Okay, so you'll go and enjoy the music, but you might not put all the makeup on. That's what you're telling me.
Okay, absolutely. And my tongue isn't as long.
Well, I've heard otherwise, Pat. There are some dark portions of the interwebs that say otherwise, but we'll leave that for another time. So we're going to play Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons. You know the game. I'm going to give you a fact about someone. It will either be a fact about Gene Simmons or exercise icon Richard Simmons. Get 3 out of 5. We'll give you the tickets, okay?
All right.
Number 1, didn't like to talk about his sexuality, wanted to keep it a secret. Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons?
Richard.
That's correct. That is correct. Because Gene Simmons loved to talk about his sexuality.
I was going to say, he bragged about how many chicks he's been with. I think they had boxes and boxes full of Polaroids from backstage over the years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So we're 1 for 1. Here we go. Number 2, Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons, best known for making fat people sweat.
Oh, that's Gene. Oh, wait. No, Richard.
Are we going to count that?
Yeah,
yes.
we're going to count that.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to count that.
I like Pat.
1 more to go, Pat, and we're going to give you the tickets, okay?
All right. Good
Was
Lord.
born in Israel. Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons?
Oh, wow. Oh. Richard Simmons.
No, that's Gene, actually. Gene was born in Israel.
Did not know that.
You're okay. You're still ahead. 1 more, and we'll give you the tickets.
Okay.
Gene Simmons or Richard Simmons, David Letterman made fun of his candy-striped short shorts.
Oh, that was not Gene. That had to be Richard.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Crank up the music, please.
Crank it up. Pat, you are a winner. Have fun at the show. Where are you from, Pat? Where are you calling us from?
Greenwood, Indiana.
Who are you going to take with you to the show, Pat?
Yeah.
Who are you going to take with you?
Who are you going to take with you? Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Do you have an interpreter there with you?
No, she's going with me. Her
Okay.
name's Angela.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
You make Angela be the DD since you had to do all the work, but it sounds like Angela was doing all the work.
Yeah, okay, a little bit, yeah.
Pat, since you seem like the fun type, I want to have one more piece of fun with you before we let you go. In your
my God.
best Richard Simmons impression voice, say the following phrase: "I'm a pony. I'm a pony."
Stop it. I'm a pony. I'm a pony.
Pat, you're
Thank
the
you.
best.
I don't know that was
my
Pat.
God.
I think Pat handed the phone to whoever is with him there.
Congratulations,
Okay.
Pat. Allison will take care of you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Sounded like it was a team effort
That
right
was
there.
funny. All right. We didn't put any restrictions on that.
No. We try to make these contests as easy as possible.
If you hadn't noticed.
I think only twice. The whole time we've been doing the afternoon show, we've tried to make these contests super easy. Only twice has somebody not gotten it right.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, David Letterman, which Gene or Richard? David Letterman made fun of his candy-striped short shorts. I think that's pretty obvious.
Gene Simmons did not show up to the Late Show wearing candy-striped short shorts. So WWE Wrestling is in talks with state gambling regulators because they want to legalize betting on their scripted matches. Now, before you laugh, hear them out here. WWE has held discussions with state gambling regulators in Colorado and Michigan to legalize betting on some of their big-time matches the same way you can bet on the Oscars. These are things that have been already selected. People know the results of, but you could still bet on the Oscars at like FanDuel, BetRivers, and DraftKings.
Interesting.
So WWE's like, hey, we want a piece of that action here. So they're trying to get legalized betting on wrestling. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, look, you're the gambling guru. I was about to say, yeah, this is nothing, but that's true. We already know the results of the Oscars: Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Actress. We already know. It's not like they vote on them, 5 minutes before the show airs. We already know the results of that.
And like, think about the Super Bowl. We've bet on Gatorade color. People clearly know the answer to that. Gatorade color inside the, container.
Yeah.
Now, what sports books do is they put a cap on how much you can bet on those things. Like, you can't take out $1 million loan if you're the guy that does the Gatorade and bet on it. It's usually like $50 or $100 max that you can bet on these things. But I see the WWE's point here, though. I think they've got a ball game. I know Rob and Casey were laughing about this earlier, but Gatorade and the Academy Awards and things like that, you can legally bet on. I just think there'll be a cap. And knowing the sports books the way that I do, they'll make it so it's not even really worth your time. Because,
right.
It's WrestleMania coming up. If you think a certain guy is going to win because the storyline is going that way, they're going to make it like negative 5,000, where you have to bet $5,000 to win $100. It's not even going to be worth your time. But I think they're trying to just drum up a little publicity here.
I get it.
Now, speaking of Rob Kendall, I see him outside of our window here. He's got Ultimate Warrior paint on. He's got a flaming arrow. I think he's ready to go off the rails. We'll have that conversation with Rob coming up right after a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He was just trying to help someone out. Cloudy 52 downtown. Rain expected later. You can see it on the radar to the west. Lows to the mid-30s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. State Trooper Antoine Johnson in Indianapolis was injured in a car crash early this morning while helping someone with a flat tire on I-465.
While he was sitting there, he was inside of his car, fortunately, when another westbound vehicle came along and hit the back of his police car.
Sergeant John Perrine, a 21-year-old named Andre Murphy, drove the car even though he didn't have a valid license. Murphy was not hurt in the wreck, but Johnson and the driver of the car with the flat were taken to the hospital with some injuries, but they were expected to be okay. The man who hit and killed a state trooper with his car in Fort Wayne has now been charged with murder. Investigators believe Terry Sands II was being chased by police on I-69 when he crashed his car, hitting State Trooper James Bailey. Online court records show Sands also faces charges of resisting law enforcement and driving under the influence. He's got his budget, and now he wants to see Kevin McCarthy's.
I'm ready to meet with the Speaker anytime, tomorrow, if he has his budget. Lay it down. Tell me what you want to do. I'll show you what I want to do. See what we can agree on.
While speaking in Philly today, President Joe Biden unveiled his budget proposal, and its priorities include higher taxes for people making more than $400,000 per year. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is in the hospital being treated for a concussion. The Kentucky Republican tripped and fell at a dinner event last night in Washington, D.C. McConnell's communications director says he's expected to stay in the hospital for a few days. You can expect to experience rain and cooler temperatures tonight.
We'll see some rain move into the area tonight. We're calling for the rain chance across central Indiana be around 100%.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says that rainfall will stick around until early Friday, and then it's going to be mostly dry for the rest of the day. But later in the weekend on Sunday, he says snow is a possibility. What traffic at 531? Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, Keystone Avenue, Millersville Road. There is a crash, and it is a place to avoid right now. On the south side, eastbound 465 is slow from I-70 over to Harding Street, State Road 37. Eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go. Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 loaded 21st Street to the north split. And on the east side, northbound 465 is slow, 7269. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Showers develop through the overnight hours. Lows fall to 38. Lots of clouds and cool for your Friday. It's going to be breezy with gusts near 25 miles per hour. Highs near 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Rob Kendall here to go off the rails. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, the best darn garage company in all the land, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
Okay, so Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy gives some footage of January 6th to Tucker Carlson. He goes through it, and it pretty much says this destroys the narrative of the January 6th hearings. Liberals' heads are spinning. Chuck Schumer said it was a shameful moment and told Fox News to take Tucker Carlson off the air and not let him do another show. Big picture, I mean, January 6th, their committee had their say. Thousands of hours of testimony, 1,000 witnesses, months and months of testimony. They had their say. Why is everybody up in arms at what a cable TV host is now saying?
Well, it's the same reason people hate you guys on a daily basis. It's the same reason people hate me. It's because we have the platform to tell people the truth about what's going on rather than a government narrative. Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer are mad that the information is out there. They didn't want you to have the information.
And Mitch McConnell is key here because so many people are just saying, oh, it's the Democrats. No. Cocaine Mitch, one of these establishment swamp monsters, he doesn't like what Tucker's doing either.
And let's not forget, the only reason this is out is because 20 people during the speaker vote stayed strong and got a bunch of concessions from Kevin McCarthy. I don't care what bullcrap Kevin McCarthy is peddling right now. Releasing that tape is not something he wanted to do. There's nothing in Kevin McCarthy, who Jim Banks voted for 15 consecutive times. There's nothing he wanted to, there's no way he wanted to do this. He did this because people like Gates, etc., held out and got the concessions from him, and that they're mad that the McConnells and the Schumers are mad because it refutes the bullcrap narrative that January 6th committee had, in which they bounced anybody who might be remotely free thinking or tell the truth off that committee.
And the thing that floors me the most is Tucker Carlson on that Monday program even stated there were some people that were committing some bad acts. But to say that everybody there was doing it is a lie. And he showed you video to where you can make up your own mind of what was happening. We saw Tucker Carlson get rid of that, what's it called, rumor, I guess, that the senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, was running for his life. That wasn't the case at all. It was a group of like 25 people.
But the most damning thing is the Viking guy.
Yeah, the QAnon shaman.
He's just basically being escorted around the Capitol, and he's just moseying around. I mean, the idea that you would say what's his name, Shamanon or M. Night Shyamalan or whatever his name is, Viking guy, was the greatest threat to American democracy since the Civil War. It's laughable. And the video, nobody's refuting, boy, that was deep faked or it's been doctored. Nobody's refuting. It's the video. And that's why they're mad. They're mad you're seeing the video.
And the death of the officers, right? They're trying to say 5 people died as a result of those bloodthirsty Trump supporters at the Capitol that day. Well, we saw the one video of the guy that was, Anderson Cooper told us, beaten to death with a fire extinguisher.
He still never apologized for lying to us about that.
Right. He's walking around the Capitol. He passes away the next day. Now, we still don't have an exact cause of death, which means you can't say for fact that he died as a result of what happened at the Capitol.
You know who was assassinated that day? Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah.
That's who was assassinated that day. And of course, nothing about that. These people, I know we talk about this a lot.
People committed suicide like weeks and months later, and they're saying that's because
it's
of
no
the
different than the guy who got
Republicans.
run over by a bus. Hey, he had COVID. I mean, it's the same thing, right? They will twist and they will deceive and they will manipulate whatever they need to make it the narrative, whatever they want it to be. And that January 6th committee was a complete scam. They went in there with a desired result.
They pumped in crowd noise.
It was like a World Wrestling Entertainment event.
It was like a Colts game.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the old,
Bill
Arciano.
Polian was on the January 6th committee, apparently. Who knew?
You did mention COVID, and we're going to ask you about that and former CDC Director Redfield's testimony and some stuff with Fauci here in a few minutes. But to wrap up this part of it, Rob, did you see anything that, like, the overthrowing of democracy? I feel like that term is getting watered down now. Just like, being called a racist is now, that term holds no water, and it does a disservice when there's actual instances of racism. The same could be said with overthrowing democracy. Did you see the chances of a democracy being overthrown on January 6th, especially compared to courtrooms burning down in Seattle and police precincts being attacked during 2020?
What I saw was something I've seen at the Vogue many times. A guy in body paint and a Viking hat being escorted out of or around a building by a couple of security people.
Like, isn't it crazy, though, that how many people buy that line that Nigel talked about, our democracy was in peril? Really? The world's strongest military was almost brought to its knees by a fat guy in a Viking suit? That's what we're going with? That's what brought us down?
But I think it does underscore how many people will just believe whatever their mind tells them this is what it is. And there was a time in this country where facts mattered or investigations mattered. It doesn't matter anymore. People knew it was bull crap from the beginning, and the people who hate Trump thought it was real, and no matter what you tell them, they're going to think it's real. And this is where we're at as a society now.
What part of Tucker Carlson was a lie? Last thing, what part of what Tucker Carlson did was a lie? Because I heard crying Chuck Schumer take to the pulpit and say, it was a lie. He knows it was a lie. What was a lie? He showed you video that the January 6th committee said you probably shouldn't see.
Yeah, none of it was a lie. But it's not about the truth anymore. It's just about narrative pushing.
Rob Kendall joining us, going off the rails here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So yesterday, some very powerful hearings on Capitol Hill. And one of them was Dr. Redfield. Now, he is the former head of
the CDC.
The CDC. And he testified yesterday that Flip-Flop and Fauci and the chief scientists of the WHO are basically colluding against him because they didn't want another opinion out there that said maybe this thing comes from another lab. Now, that's pretty strong because it doesn't look like Dr. Redfield's the kind of guy that would just make crap up for political purposes here. if this is true, what should happen?
Well, it's something that on this radio station we've been saying for years now.
A long time.
Yeah, that to me, this was totally came out of a lab. It was intentional. I believe it was not accidentally released. I still maintain it was released on the people of Hong Kong to silence those protests, which, of course, went away once that happened, and China doesn't care what happens to the rest of the world. But isn't it fascinating how much stuff that you were called a conspiracy theorist or a radical right-winger or an ultra MAGA or Get Ready Bal or whatever. By the way, how did Get Ready Bal lose in the Biden madness?
This is the biggest storyline of Biden madness. There was Get Ready Bal.
I said this on the show earlier today. There was some Bal harvesting that took place. But all this stuff that we were saying from the beginning is all coming true now. We don't get apologies from anyone. Fauci was all in on gain of function.
Yes.
Fauci is a scumbag and a lunatic. Fauci is the reason we were light years behind on AIDS and HIV because of his decisions in the early part of it. He failed on COVID just the same. He is a power-hungry, evil, awful person, and I have absolutely no doubt that he was lying about gain of function, his role in it, the funding of it, whether he was profiteering in some portion out of it, I don't know, but that dude is a wicked, wicked person.
And it makes me sick because he really wants to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
He loves the magazine covers. He loves the interviews. This dude has never met a TV camera he didn't pose for. And that's the thing that kind of just, drives me nuts more than anything else. If you want to be bad at your job, be bad at your job. There's a lot of people bad at their job in Washington, but he's shady and he's an egotistical a-hole.
Yeah, but, we talked about this earlier on the show. Fauci is Harvey Dent to the left. And what I mean by that is if you've ever seen the movie Batman, Harvey Dent is the prosecutor in Gotham, and he is this infallible guy who is the corruption and crime fighter who must always be pure, because if Harvey falls, well, then all the people he's put in jail, the whole thing falls. He, of course, then in the Batman movie gets his face deformed and his girlfriend dies, and he turns into this wicked, villainous character. And at the end, they have to, spoiler alert, movie's been around 15 years, I think I can do it now. They have to portray as though it was Batman who did the murder, so that the legend of Harvey Dent would live forever, because if the legend of Harvey Dent falls, everything falls. That is who Fauci is to the left. He is Harvey Dent. If the reality of Fauci, if the legend of Fauci, if the Fauci's the man of science and this infallible guy falls, then everything else falls with it. They will never stop defending Fauci.
Can you stick around for another segment, Rob? I wanted to ask you about East Palestine and how you were right. You guys ended up being right about the hazardous materials and the EPA and Governor Holcomb wanting them to test it before they dumped it here.
Well, I hate to take credit for anything, but if I must, I must.
All right, we'll be right back. It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
The winter blues are almost behind us. We can't wait to get out of the house and be more active. It sounds great, but your achy joints don't agree. There's time right now to do something about that. Tony Katz here. Stop with the steroids. Stop with the possible surgery chatter. Now there's a better way to get lasting relief. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. QC Kinetics uses healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then placed directly in your achy joints. It can restore and repair that damaged tissue and get you moving again without pain. The old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. Talk to QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. The call is free. You have nothing to lose, and the timing is right for you to enjoy the best time of the year. Call QC Kinetics now for a totally free consultation with medical professionals in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Our tax refund sale is back. We guarantee you the lowest price, free delivery, interest-free financing, and now through Monday, we pay your sales tax on top of the sale price. Lowest prices of the year on Lazy Boy, Indiana-made Smith Brothers, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, outdoor furniture by Berlin Gardens and Hollywood. Everything in the store is on sale now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
The Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. For hunting, sporting, and personal protection gear, visit the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show.
Need weekend plans? Stop by your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's brings fun, family-friendly activities to your neighborhood. Visit Lowe's.com/events for this month's full lineup.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Eastbound 465 has stopped Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 slows at 96. East side northbound 465 through Lawrence, that's I-70 up to I-69. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st on in, and eastbound 70 slows Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got some rain and 49 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show back to go off the rails. We found out this week that the EPA actually halted shipments of the hazardous material from East Palestine, Ohio to a landfill in Indiana. Could you just kind of explain, go back and tell us how you are kind of, you don't want to admit you're doing a victory lap, but you're doing a victory lap on how right you were about.
When did he say he didn't want to admit?
No, I'm all in, Nige. I'm doing the Indy 500 when it comes to victory laps, Nige.
So it amazed me that this was this controversial, and a fairly well-known person in state government who is universally liked, who I will not name because I would not disparage their good name by outing they associate with me, simply sent me a text last night and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, why was transparency so hard? That's all the people in Putnam County, that's all I wanted as a Hendricks County resident. I wanted transparency on what is in this stuff, and based on what's in this stuff, is this plant equipped to deal with it? And some people were just losing their minds. We're not saying that Heritage Environmental is a bad company or a corrupt company or an evil company or doing anything illegal or anything. We were simply saying, let's find out what's in this stuff so we know if this is actually the people who are best to deal with it. And there were people who just lost their minds over that.
You're right, because people were saying, well, how dare you? Heritage is a great company. I'm sure they probably are, but it's also okay. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're wondering what exactly is coming to Heritage.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of going in if you're going to have open heart surgery and asking the doctor, hey, what's your background in this? It doesn't mean you don't think the guy's a great guy. You just want to know, are you qualified to cut me open and do potentially life-altering procedures? There's nothing wrong with that.
And guess what? The EPA ultimately proved that you were right. They stopped the shipments and tested the materials just to double-check to make sure there were no dioxins in there.
Here's how ironclad this was that it was the right thing to do. Rob Kendall and Eric Holcomb agreed on something.
Looks like we made it!
Hey, the other thing is, before we wrap it up here, I heard someone on the news at the top of the hour say, people were outraged at this material coming to the landfill. They're not even from here. I'm like, what does that matter? What does that matter if we're from there or not? We happen to defend the people that live there.
Yeah, standing up for your fellow Hoosiers now, you're a terrible person. And by the way, if there was something wrong with this stuff and it got into the ground and into the streams or whatever, it could have affected a huge group of people in central Indiana. You're not bad for asking the questions, and people just lost their minds over this.
You hear that same line when you talk about referendums a lot. Well, you don't even live here, which is fancy talk for please stop trying to educate all of these people because we're trying to run a scam.
It's just amazing that people get so upset over questions being asked. The people got the answer to the question. It seems like we're okay, and everybody go about their day. The government worked for once. Why would you be upset about that?
What's coming up tomorrow on the show?
Well, we're going to dig into a little bit more about the fallout of this stuff with Ohio. What's the long-term ramification? And I think it's a headline, or it's a red flag to say this is why you need to be involved and be informed so you're not caught flat-footed when things like this happen.
Off the Rails brought to you by
Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
He's off the rails. He's Rob Kendall. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement